special day. Let's start with that. It's a special day. We're giddy. We're excited. We've got someone in the studio, the digital studio.
Yeah. The fresh from the green room. Oh,
sure.
we have a bit of a treat. We're rolling back in. This is, I think, only our second experience episode, which I'm so excited to be able to do these.
I know.
We're here today with Amber Energy Services, and she's going to teach us about ourselves.
Macy and I are very nervous today because we're going to hear about all of our and we've teased this for a little bit. We're saying we're going to sit down and talk with somebody who actually knows their shit, dude. And Amber, tell us about yourself. What do you do? Give us your 3 favorite colors, and how
about I give you my big 3 astrology signs? We'll start with
that. Okay, great. Appropriate.
So in astrology, we call it the big 3. So they're kind of 3 of the most key important factors in your cosmic makeup. So there's your sun sign, which everybody knows. So I'm a Pisces. There's your rising sign. I'm a Cancer rising, and your moon sign. So I have a moon in Leo. So that's usually where I started off. But I'm an astrologist, tarot reader, life coach, which all the metaphysical things, well, not all. I don't do Reiki or anything like that. But I've been doing this full time for about a year now. So that's really exciting. You guys know that moment.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. When you finally get to say goodbye to what you don't really want to be doing and into something you've created or something you're really passionate about. So that before that I sold cars. So really not nearly as exciting.
Well, congrats. That's exciting.
That's
and I love it when you hit that year mark and you're like, it feels like 10 years, but also 2 days at the same time.
Oh my God. Yeah. Cause it's exhausting and it's exciting. And you're like, I've survived a year. I don't know about you guys, but I low key expected to be trotting back into the dealership.
Oh, for sure.
When you hit a year though, you are just like, you know what? I've married myself through COVID, no less. So, I mean, it's if you can make it through COVID year on your own,
well, I actually have COVID to thank because you want to know when people start thinking about themselves and examining their personality.
That's
when they're stuck at home and they're stuck with other people, and all of this kind of movement came up, at least with people that I was talking to or clients. I had everyone's searching for this, what am I doing with my life? Why, you're sitting at home thinking so much, right? Compared to how much you usually would. So I kind of in a weird way, it, I think really helped my business because I literally launched it in March of last year. Yeah, 1 week before the pandemic. And I was like, oh my God, okay. But because my work can be done virtually, it luckily didn't hinder that. And you guys know all about that too.
Thank goodness.
That is.
Thank goodness that it didn't. Well, that's awesome, dude. That's really fortuitous.
I also want to say, you've come high praise from our good friend, Yura Lira.
Yeah, a trusted source.
So it's it's crazy that it all worked out this way. We were like, I think we're looking for somebody, and it all just kind of fell into place. But we've been very excited. I think Lyra is really excited to hear about all this too. So
I was looking at her chart too because you guys all I can see how you're friends, and I'll explain that.
I love it.
But it's funny because Lyra and I guess I started following her because of the pod, and. And her and I are like water babies. We're just made up 97% of water.
Jeez.
Yeah. So we just kind of fell in love with each other's stories, I guess. And then she booked a service with me, and what a super awesome person.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just love her. And so she's, I never wanted to infringe or be like, oh, do you think they say Charlye? Because that's not why we're, because you want to be that person. Oh, by the way, I listened to the pod.
Right.
That's the thing. But no, she's been amazing. So supportive through the business and stuff like that.
That's so funny. She was the unintentional middleman in this because she got the same text from me. I was like, do you think that she would be willing to do this with us? And she was just like, yeah. I think so.
Oh, I'm so glad because I was I was gonna message her and be like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. I just got an email from Macy. Like, but then I was like, I don't know, like put her in the middle. Like, so
we put her in the middle for you. It's okay.
Lyra has been thrust into so many positions from us doing this
podcast. We put her in weird places. She's fine with it now. It's okay.
Okay, so let's talk about how this is going to happen. You said that you were, we're going to do each other separately. We're going to do like Charlye section, Macy section.
We're going to do your section, your chart first, and then we're going to do Macy's. I am probably going to make little notes while I'm going through your chart. Like Macy also has this placement.
Okay.
Kind of like same, but different. Like reference here and there.
That's so smart. I should have brought a notepad.
Yeah, I brought a notebook because I am beyond a fucking noob. So I grabbed this. So if I have any questions, I'm just going to write them down because I know I'm going to have questions.
Me. Please interrupt me. Because if we're talking about something and the question pops into your head, like you're ready to learn in that moment, like don't worry about waiting till the end or anything like that. Of course, you can ask questions at the end too. Absolutely. But something pops up or you need clarification on something, totally interrupt me.
Okay. All right. I don't have a notebook. So Macy, if something particularly,
I'll telepathically know when you have a question. Okay. I'll read it.
I'll do one of these. Oh yeah. I'll just, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Or just shout in. I really don't know.
Or just ask the question, Charlye.
Okay. So, you have your charts up that I emailed you?
I don't, because I'm fucking stupid.
Whoa.
No, you're just a Pisces. We'll get into that.
I'm so glad I can finally just put all of my like absent-minded.
You're gonna have like a blame chart. It's not my fault. It's my.
Oh hell yeah! Yeah, I'll carry it around.
I'm ready for that.
I was looking through yours and I saw the red line at some point just goes.
It's just a fucking mess.
All of Mason's oppositions, I know. She has like an arrow pattern in her, like an archer pattern.
Does that mean something? Like if it makes.
Yeah, chart patterns do. Chart patterns can indicate certain kind of dynamics, but they're not like the most important. But when I saw Macy's come up, I was like, oh, that looks about right.
No, mine's just a square. Does that mean I'm just a fucking square?
No. It I have actually a similar pattern to you. I have similar placements to Macy's. So you can have like a lot of similarities in astrology, but it's like the same but different idea. So maybe the same attitude, but spoken in two different languages.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you have the scary charts up, okay.
I'm nervous.
Don't worry, this isn't a shadow chart reading. Those are like the really like deep, dark, dirty ones.
That's fascinating.
I love the shadow readings. They're my favorite to do.
Can we come back and do those with you at a later episode?
Absolutely. They're like, if you really want to get into like the gutter of your chart.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Well, we should do that when it's the deep, deep, dark half of the year. When we're like in the bowels of the dark half of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like December. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to stick to like the lighter, friendlier stuff right now. Because there is so much in astrology. Like it does, when you look at the chart, like if you physically look at the chart up in front of you right now, there's such a wealth of information in there. And right now it just looks like a bunch of lines and a bunch of symbols, but it actually gets so deep into like your psyche and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, we're going to stick with more of an introduction to your chart so you can and it is what I would recommend everyone start with. Like I wouldn't just jump in and go to a shadow reading because a lot of it is going to go over your head because you're not familiar with the terminology. Whereas you can kind of get your feet wet with this. You have an idea of like what a sun, moon, rising is. So things will make a little bit more sense when you get into deeper astrology.
Okay.
So if we all have our charts up, this is like your cosmic fingerprint. So this is a map of the heavens the second you were born. Okay.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. So this is called the zodiac wheel, like the circle that you see in front of you. And all of the sections of the wheel, which you'll see have numbers going around the middle there. These are the houses in astrology. So these are considered areas of life. So each house represents a certain area of life. Then we have the planets that are distributed amongst the houses. So empty houses, first off, everyone's like, oh my God, I have 6 empty houses. Is that bad? Absolutely not. It's impossible actually to have a planet in every house. There's not enough planets. So empty house does not mean lack. It doesn't mean bad. Just means there's going to be less of a concentrated focus in that area.
Okay.
In the house, that means it's an empty house, but it doesn't mean that stuff doesn't happen there. Just means maybe not as a concentrated energy coming from you in that area. So all of the planets then in turn represent different characteristics of life. So the sun, which is what we all know, we're all familiar with our sun signs. That's our core identity. It's our ego. It is our general personality, consciousness, vitality, stamina, yourself. Gives us a pretty basic understanding of how a person makes their choices and why they do what they do. But you are so much more than your sun sign. That's just like a little chip of who you are. And the reason we're all really familiar with our sun signs is because the sun moves the most consistently. So it transits between the signs on the zodiac wheel every month, give or take a day or two on the year, depending when the solstice is. So that's why we know, because it's consistent and it's familiar and it's easy for people to understand.
Okay.
So that's why they do horoscopes based on sun signs. Everyone can be like, oh, I know my sun sign.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Whereas the moon moves every 2.5, 3 days,
Yeah.
a lot specific. Your rising sign moves every 2 hours.
Oh.
So yeah, each planet moves at its own pace. So, but your basic person is going to have absolutely no idea where any of their placements are except their sun, because it's the most consistent. So that's why people are the most familiar with it. But it can vary a day or two. That's why time of birth is important. Because, for example, I'm born on February 18th, which is classically an Aquarius date. But the year that I was born, the sun moved early into Pisces. So for a long time, I thought I was an Aquarius, and I was kind of like, yeah, I kind of get it, but like it doesn't like fit.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I learned a little bit more about astrology and I looked it up and actually saw with my birth time and everything like that, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I was just going to say that's a question that I wanted to ask, and at some point, maybe when we come back to do the second recording, we'll have all these questions for you.
Yeah.
But briefly, I just know that that's something that I had always seen on like Facebook or whatever. It's like you thought you were a Leo, but actually, due to this and that and the other, you're really a blank XYZ, and like 10 different ways to do. Like, so that's another question I think I'm going to have down the line. Is I know there's a different kind of astrology where I'm a Cancer. So I have no idea. And I want to get your like input on all that. So.
I heard it all. I heard you. I'll talk about that on the pod. And I was like, oh, I have to talk to Charlye about that. So there's cusps. So if you're born on a cusp, so a day before or a day after a traditional transit date for the sun, it's important to check your time. But then there was the whole, and I just have to eye roll at this because it is like, if you're an astrologer, you're just like, get it off the internet.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah. Everybody's just,
oh, we've discovered a new planet and now everybody's like sign has changed. No.
Okay. Yeah. What's like the new one? What is it, like Xanadu or something? What's it called?
I
forget.
I can't proclaim to know all that much about it just because I dismissed it.
Okay. All right. So So you're coming from this as a place, because I know some people really go hard on that and are really into it. So we're in a place of that's not something we're prescribing to. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
Like most astrologers don't. It was like the post that went viral on the internet and everyone was freaking out. And then, but no, I use also, there's different systems for astrology. So there's Vedic astrology, which can differ from tropical astrology, which is what I use. I use what's called Placidus system, but there is like a bunch of different systems that are used. Vedic astrology is a little bit older. Then there's like the whole sign system. It's all different languages to kind of speak the same idea, I guess is the right way to put it. But I use Placidus, which is the most popular system here in North America. And I find it, the reason I use it as well is it's the best, I feel like, for natal astrology, which is your own personal birth chart. If you're getting into predictive astrology, whole sign system's probably a little bit better, or it works better for that, I should say. But yeah, you can kind of, a lot of astrologers use more than one system based on what they're doing.
Cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw everything off. That was like one of those things, like I have to get clarification.
I was like, I wonder how long it's going to take before that comes out.
2 seconds.
That's your Mars and Aries talking, which we'll get to. 2 seconds. So we are going to talk about your sun signs, but I'm not going to spend too much time on them because I feel like both of you probably already have an idea of what it means to be a Leo and what it means to be an Aquarius. Like, I don't feel like I need to dive so deep into that with you because there's lots of other stuff I'd rather bring to the table for you. So Charlye, you are a Leo sun, which is, I love the sun in Leo. It's actually called exalted in Leo. So it's considered one of the best, not best, because there is no best or worst.
No, you said it. It's best.
Yeah.
Spoken like a Leo. You said it. But yeah, so it's because sun is the ruling planet. Now I'm saying planet when I say sun. I know the sun isn't a planet, but we just refer to it as a planet in astrology. It is the ruling planet of Leo. So the sun rules the sign Leo. Okay. So that's why it's called exalted in the sign of Leo, because it's at home.
Okay.
So the moon would be exalted in Cancer because Cancer is ruled by the moon. Each sign has a ruling planet and an exaltation because of that.
Okay.
There's also like detriments, which sound really bad. I have a ton of them, which is when it's a planet's in like an opposite sign. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'm going to stick to the streamline here. So keywords for Leo. I'm sure a bunch you probably have already heard a lot. It's very proud, dignified, confident, ambitious, creative, progressive, very optimistic. That's one of my favorite things about Leo suns. Generous, very sincere and warm. Like there's people really warm to Leos, and that's like the warmth from the sun. Like, you know how flowers kind of turn towards the sun? People tend to turn towards Leos that way because Leos bring that warmth and like a real feeling of vitality. So people really enjoy being around them as long as they're not being too bossy. Can be a thing as well. But very romantic, very affectionate, very inspired. Leo as a sign, each sign rules a natural house in the zodiac. So the 5th house is ruled by the sign of Leo naturally. Your rulerships will be different because we're looking at your own birth chart. But if you're just looking at a standard zodiac wheel, you'll see the Leo symbol sitting on top of the 5th house. And that's where all Leo things are contained. All things fun, creative, children, romance, play, flirtation. That kind of stuff. Yeah. So each sign has a house.
Okay.
That it traditionally belongs to, but in our own personal birth charts, because it's a snapshot of our wheel, not the traditional zodiac wheel, they're all completely different unless you have an Aries rising, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, symbolism is huge in astrology. Okay. So Leo, I like to always start off with the symbolism. Leo is represented by the lion, and it's all really about powerful, very feline energy. I always think, do you know the song Juice by Lizzo? And have you heard it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, there's this line in it, and I always am just like, that's such a Leo line. And it's like when she's saying, if I'm shining, everybody is going to shine. And that's like, see, it's nice, right? To me, that's just a real representation of what Leo is about. They're not just here to be the star, although that is what they want to be instinctively. They want to light up and show everyone what they can do, but they also want everybody else to feel the same way. They want everyone to feel inspired. They want everybody to be lit up. They want everyone to feel special. Like Leos can make you feel so, so special when they shine that light on you.
And I feel so good hearing that because like, on the very surface, again, with the memes of like, if your sign is this, it's always sort of like Leo's a narcissistic asshole, so it's nice to hear that side of it.
Well, the memes pick at the negativity.
Yeah. It's like how Aquariuses are lizard people and aliens.
You're aliens and lizards and you have no soul.
Yeah.
Well, for Macy, I mean, that's probably correct.
40% accurate.
No, I know. I'm a Pisces, so I'm nothing but a hopeless romantic drunk.
Which there are worse things to be,
Well, I feel like that's not too bad. At least
that one sounds fun.
Yeah,
we are a good time.
It's like all the best writers in history, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the memes. Like people read the memes, and it is usually poking fun at the very stereotypical archetypes or keywords that are stapled to each sign. Which in a shadow reading, we definitely get into all of like that kind of stuff. But there's each sign has potential qualities. Okay. So there is, light qualities and dark qualities to each sign. And this is where it really depends on you and what qualities you want to access and bring to the table. You can be a total narcissistic, show off, condescending, bossy Leo if you choose to be that way. That potential is definitely there within you. Or you can, embody a lot more of the more positive traits, or you can have a handful of both. That's where choice really comes into astrology, I feel. You're not like cursed with these keywords and you have to be every single one. So Leo is also what we call, it's a fixed sign. So there's 3 different energies in astrology. There's mutable, which is very much like it sounds. It's, very go with the flow, not too stuck in one particular way. Then there's cardinal, which is a bit more of a like go-getter, take charge, move ahead, being the boss. And then there's fixed, which is very set in their ways and very
all right.
Very persistent and very strong-willed. Okay. So again, there's positives and negatives to each of those modes. But Leo is definitely a fixed sign, and it is a fire sign as well. So Leo energy really excels at bringing a sustained passion and energy to like life or their goals. If you're passionate about something, you can carry that passion a very long way. Okay. It doesn't like, when we think of fire as an element, it doesn't burn up very quickly. You can like keep that fire going for a very long period of time because you have this fixed nature. Whereas when we look at something like a Sagittarius, which is another fire sign, that's more like scattered wildfire and like you don't know where to go. Like
we have a lot of Sages in this family.
Me too. So it's cool when you get into astrology and then you actually look at the elements as well and like the modes that they're in, and you can kind of see how the element goes. And like I call Leo like the bonfire. That is a long, sustained, bright burn that lights everybody up in the darkness. So that's how I think about Leos, and that's why they're so good at carrying passion and energy towards their goals. They really understand there's a level of commitment required to make things a success. Now, you have your Mars in Aries, so sometimes you might get more impatient than a traditional Leo, and we'll get into the Mars sign later. But,
oh boy.
But it generally, Leo as an energy is that way. All planets and in their signs are affected by every other planet in that sign in your particular birth chart. So if you're like a fire sign sun, like you are, and you have an earth sign moon, which you do, some of that outburst energy of the fire can be kind of counterbalanced a little bit with this grounded energy of the earth and the moon. So it's important to kind of like keep that in mind a little bit, because you're never just going to be textbook one way in astrology. That's what makes it so, I feel like, unique. Everybody's chart, you can have 10 Leo suns in front of you, but they'll have 10 different moon placements, 10 different rising signs. So they're not going to be all the exact same. They might have some similar qualities, but they can really be very different.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That's what, like, it's one of those things where it's when you dive into astrology, you actually like understand the complexity of it, because I totally get it when people are like, well, I'm nothing, you know, like my Cancer sun. I don't resonate that with all, like at all. Like you're just pigeonholing me into this label and like pigeonholing. What's
We say holing. Yeah.
Perfect. That's what I say.
Is it pigeonholing?
Yeah, pigeonholing. So it's what I've heard.
Oh, I thought it was pigeon holding.
All this pigeonholing.
Hold you. I guess
pigeonhole.
That's any one of those. Take it, apply it, whatever one resonates with you.
Let's just say boxed in. Boxed in. There you go.
Boxed into like a sign and these characteristics, but everything is modified or, you know, affected by everything else in your chart. So I totally understand people's frustration when they say that, because I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be just, you know, a one label person either, but you're not, but it's just so complex that trying to explain that to somebody on the spot, you're just like, oh, there's a lot more to it. Like,
do you have an hour to talk about it? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, and are you going to get, like, it's just so much. And then you kind of need to get a chart out so you can point things out and be like, like, it's like, you know, so it's one of those things where as an astrologer, you're just like, well, there's a lot more to it than that. If you ever want to talk about it, I'm here to talk about it, but I'm not going to try and convince you on the spot because there's so much stuff. But self-expression is huge for Leos. And I totally see that, Charlye, with you, like in the way you do your makeup and the way like you are like very expressive, colorful, you know what I mean? And Leos love to be that way. You're like, No.
I love it. It's so, and I'm trying to like stifle, because everything you say, I like want to say something to and be like, yeah, totally, you know, but, yeah, no, wow.
Well,
it's so interesting to just see that.
So because you are self-expressive.
Yeah.
I know they seem to be a lot more like,
Yeah. I'll probably be less fun in my half. Not that I'm not deeply interested, but I'm like
no, you're very studious.
Well, she's a lot of Aquarius, a lot of Capricorn. She's very dry, not in a bad way, but she's more about listening and processing first before interjecting. Yeah.
Whereas mine, this whole episode, I feel like it's just going to be like horn. Oh, I do like to dye my hair a lot.
Accurate. But yeah, you're really about like, you want to wear your passions on your sleeve and you're really comfortable with showing off who you are. And that's not about being a show off. It's not about, you know, necessarily all the time being like, someone look at me, but like, you're very comfortable being in that space. You're very comfortable showing off who you are and you enjoy it when other people show off they are too. It's kind of that like, I'm going to shine, but you're going to shine as well. And so that is like, I mean, the shadow side of Leo, yes, can be a little bit like overtly flamboyant, perhaps, or trying to get applause all the time. But generally, you know, they're just very comfortable in self-expression.
I get both sides of that. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, we've been here and we've been there.
Yeah.
Well, and you go differently through your sun sign and different, I find, with all your signs, but particularly I'd say your sun, moon, rising sign, midheaven, you'll grow through them in different ways through your life. So like, I know when I was younger, I'm a Pisces, I definitely was, you know, very shy and really had a hard time speaking to people. But then as I grew older, you know, I kind of grew out of those traits and into other Pisces traits that I didn't necessarily have before. So you can, you know, really go on a real journey with your birth chart and your signs, which is really cool. I wish they would teach it in school so people could just have a general like tracking knowledge of it, but that probably won't ever happen. But yeah, Leo suns love opulence and grand gestures, and life is your stage. Like It's not about going to the theater. You're always at the theater. Like, you know what I mean? Every outfit you wear is like, you're going down a runway because it's, why would you not? That resonates?
No. It's just funny because it's like, you know, if it's me and Macy recording and this is also strange because this is all happening in front of Macy, who I feel like knows me more than most anyone in my whole life. So like it's funny because I just immediately picture when we're recording just at her place and I'm just in like sweatpants and a baggy t-shirt.
Literally in like garbage
trash bags.
Yeah.
But then it's like if we have a thing to do, that's all, you know, I'm just,
you usually pull out the stops. Yeah. Typically.
So that's more representative of your moon sign. Our moon signs, which we'll get into, they are who we are with our most loved ones. I call our moon signs, they're like the bedroom. Like not a lot of people get to come in there, but it's where you're most relaxed. It's where you're going to let your guard down the most. And you don't do that with as many people. So your moon's in Taurus, which is all about comfort. So you 100% would be dressed for comfort in that environment. But if you were like to be going, but if you be going out or like you have an event, I could be wrong, but I see it on your Instagram. You always look like to the nines.
Yeah, y'all can keep rolling. I'm going to be right back, dude. I'm probably gonna have to pee about 4 times as this goes. Okay. So I'm like
here with all my liquids. I'm like,
yeah, I know. I've been slamming carbonated water and I'm like, I know you're going to make me pee. I'll be right back. It's like,
well, I'm going to take a sip.
What got you there?
This is a bang energy drink. It's straight poison.
Oh my God. I used to drink like Monsters all the time. And then I was like, I don't know. Well, I have anxiety. I don't know.
I know. It's so bad. Like I'll wake up having panic attacks and I'll be like, oh, you drink a fucking Monster 2 seconds before you went to bed. It's so bad. Macy yells at me all the time about it. She's like, you gotta get kidney stones.
So I'm curious, what areas of Leo that you know of the Leo sun do you feel like you resonate with the best? Like what do you feel like, yes, that really like encompasses?
I've always, I think, felt really hard, not really hard, but like really tied to like the what's the word? Like the loyalty thing, like the fiercely loyal thing. Yeah. Like the whole, and I never thought of it this way until it was actually Macy that helped me think of it this way. Cause she was working at that big cat sanctuary and she just has all these, you know, lions and shit literally around. And we were talking about it and she was like, a lot of that, you know, just that kind of, you know, loyalty aspect, because to a fault I will be, and I think I think you recently said something about this too. It's like, it's not to many people, but when you're close with somebody, if somebody were to then harm or cross you in any way, I would
very personally
almost go to jail about it, you know. Yeah.
Well, you have a beautiful blend with your Taurus moon as well, with your Leo sun, and both signs are very loyal and unmovable with the people that they love. Leo, of course, symbolized by the lions, like you can like keep your chill for sure, but like if somebody goes at your pride, like look out, like that's when the roar comes out and that's when the claws come out. And it's so funny because you mentioned Macy worked at a cat sanctuary. She has, Macy, you have a Leo rising sign. So you both actually have Leo very predominantly, and you just in slightly different ways and how it comes across and stuff like that. But we'll get more into that later.
You can't make fun of Leos anymore.
Oh, you can. This is like, I'm handing.
Oh, I can and I will. Yeah.
Each other. Like, you can be like, stop being so Aquarius about it. But loyalty is very, very big with Leo. So is, you know, they're really courageous. When something is threatening a loved one for you, there is like no fear. Like you will go ahead. If you were, you know, in a Harry Potter house, you'd be in Gryffindor.
Okay.
I know you're Slytherin gal. I know. But the Leo, the idea of Gryffindor, the bravery, standing by your friends and all that kind of stuff, that's very Leo.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes the difficulty with that, if we're looking at the flip side, is that it can be really, really hard for you to give up on people because really you can see the best in them because you want to shine that light, the sun on them again, help them grow. You want to encourage them. You want to support them. But sometimes it can be a little bit hard for you to know when it is time to, kind of give up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Your Taurus moon plays into that as well. Both are really, really like fixed signs. But you also are able to tell your friends to get their head out of their ass and like shape up. What are you doing? Why are you being that way? You're not necessarily going to say it right off the bat, but when it gets to a point, you would not have a problem doing that. Naturally, you attract a lot of attention. You have this great gregarious nature. And, when you are nervous or you might be feeling more insecure in a group setting, which is not all that often, but you might try and like overcompensate with this gregarious nature. Like,
for sure. Macy, you stop fucking smiling.
Because that's the Leo instinct. It's like, it's not like, I'm going to scale back and then wait till I feel more comfortable and go forward. Leo's very like, oh, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to go. Like,
it's like it's almost like a fake it till you make it kind of thing, you know?
No, absolutely. And that is like such a great quality in a lot of ways. No, it is.
They're going to love me. God damn it.
Yeah. I am perfect. I'll prove it.
But it's a wonderful quality. But yeah, sometimes you can end up overcompensating and like, not realizing you're doing it. And people are like, why are they talking so much? But
that's my biggest fear. Oh no.
I understand. I have a Leo moon in the first house. I do the same thing. That's why I was like, interrupt me because I'm like, was a little bit nervous and I'm like, I'm just going to go and go and go and go. Like you're going to have to.
Homie, we'll go through and like edit the podcast and I will sit there staring at the screen going, shut up. You've been talking for 40 minutes straight. Macy hasn't said a word. Shut up. And it's a deep-seated
I never noticed these spells.
You talk forever. Because after this, probably like after these our sessions and stuff like that, one cool thing to like pay attention to or like take note of is Macy's a Leo rising. So she's going to have a lot of these Leo traits, but they're going to come out in a completely different way than they are going to for you. And it's kind of neat when you know people that have, or you're close with people that have the same sign as you, but in a slightly different place. Because you can kind of be like, oh, okay, I see where that energy is coming out and I understand it, but it's just a different way than I would happen to, or I would go about it. One thing I have, which sounds like borderline creepy, but like whatever. It's an Excel spreadsheet and it has everyone all close people in my life and all of them. But it's a great tool because it helps me recognize placements in other people. Like when I first meet them or something like that. It's neat to kind of keep track of it in a bit of a way because it just helps you with recognition. Yeah. But one thing, so that's the sun. And I think we can move away from the sun at this point. I want to talk about the house that your sun sign is living in. Okay. So this is where I'm going to get you to look at the chart because I want you to see where we are. And we're going to find house number 6. So you're probably going to have to zoom in if you're on your phone.
Yeah, my old eyes.
Center.
Oh, that would have been smart. I could have brought my phone in here and looked at it separately. Okay, I see. 6?
Yeah, you're going to find house number 6. Okay. So you have the sun, which is the symbol that looks like a donut.
Yeah.
Just so you can see it. Your sun is living in your 6th house. Okay. Now, both you and Macy have sun in the 6th house.
Oh, am I dumb? Where are these numbers? Oh, I found the numbers. Okay, they're just tiny. All right. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Like, take your time finding it on the map. I want you to be able to like see it. Yeah, definitely not. She's an Aquarius and a Capricorn.
I found the donut, y'all. All right.
So both of you have your sun living in your 6th house. So you're going to have concentrated energy in that same area of life, but how you go about it, because the sun is in different signs, is going to be different.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. I don't know what a house is.
Oh.
Yeah, I know the concept of a house, but I don't know.
Like the sixth.
So
what like this
is that six. So
right.
those brackets, that is the sixth house.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
you, Macy, you have a very full sixth house. Charlie, you have 2 planets living in your sixth house. You have the sun, and then the little guy that looks kind of like he's wearing a top hat right next to it. That's Mercury. So you have sun and Mercury, both in the sign of Leo, living in your sixth house.
All right. And what does the sixth house, what does that mean when you say the sixth house? Is that like...
Yeah. So the sixth house is main subjects with sixth house is work versus career, service to others, health and vitality, healing, pets, daily routines, hygiene, and sense of duty.
I understand that I get that I have a shit pile of things in mine. All of those things that you read, I was like, I will get too hard into those and do that.
So those are the main subjects that are held within what we call the sixth house in astrology. Okay. Traditionally, it is ruled by the sign of Virgo, but yours is ruled by the sign of Cancer, Charlye. However, your sun and Mercury that are living there are both in the sign of Leo. So you're really going to see a lot of the Leo coming out in these areas of life.
Okay.
Okay. So I had a note here. I wanted to get into transits, but I'll do that later. So having the sun in the sixth house, your life direction and sense of fulfillment can be discovered through involvement in areas of work and service to others. Applying your attention to those spheres can really help you define your sense of unique identity and offer a lot of channels for development. So service to others doesn't necessarily mean like serving others, like serving them food or being a nurse or whatever. It can be providing to other people something they find of value or they find of service. So like providing your content, for example, for everybody would be a good example of that. And people get a lot of healing out of that a lot of the time. I know you guys helped me a lot through the pandemic. Like I was like, how do I know what day of the week it is? Wabade.
I know it's Wednesday.
So that is, that's a way that you are of service to others, where you're going to find a lot of fulfillment in life.
Cool.
Now, you take a lot of pride in the work that you do. And that's a sixth house thing. It is meticulous. It is, really, really wanting to do the best possible job that you can do with whatever you do. But specifically in those areas of the sixth house, you also, because your sun is in Leo, you do like recognition and praise. It can be really hard for a Leo sun in the sixth house to keep up that work if there is no recognition.
Literally why I've quit every job.
That's the thing, because you're willing to work really hard. Like you have no problem doing that. But if you feel like the recognition isn't there or the praise isn't there for what you're doing, you're just not going to want to stay there very long. Wow. You're going to get really uninspired. And it's really important for Leo suns to feel inspired because they are so creative and passionate. If that spark is kind of dimmed, you just don't want to be there anymore. Right. It's not really of too much interest.
That was Macy, you okay? I see a face.
Yeah, my internet was dropping out really bad. Like it seemed like y'all were okay, but it was just like I dropped out the past 2 minutes, but it seems okay now. I think it just shat the bed.
Okay, yeah, because I saw you moving. So you didn't freeze on this end. Okay. That was I think that was my first big wow moment. Yeah. Macy and I were talking about when we sit down to do this, we were like, I can't wait for all those wow moments. So that was that was a big click. Thank you. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You have to feel inspired. Like you have that longevity and that passion, like we were talking about with the Leo sun, that you can sustain. But if you're not feeling recognized and you're not feeling inspired with what you're doing, it's not a nice energy for you.
Right. Now, does all this sort of ring true for Macy as well? Because her house is also, So a little bit
the perfectionism quality with work that you care about is still going to be there. There's going to be certain aspects that are going to be the same. But right now with that kind of like inspired stuff, we're talking more about it being a Leo sun as opposed to being an Aquarius sun. Because maybe has a little bit more like the way she's made up, she can keep going if she has to and kind of slug it through and like compartmentalize that kind of stuff. Whereas it's really hard for you to do that.
Wow.
That makes a shit pile of sense.
Are you fucking hearing this? Okay. All right.
Yeah. So working for yourself, great idea. Maybe freelance work eventually in something, great idea. But you're going to have a little bit of a hard time working for a boss.
Haven't we always said that, dude? We've always just been like, we're entrepreneurs.
You are. You're sun in this house. Absolutely. Like a little bit of trouble working for a boss. Sixth house also rules our daily habits. So when you have your Leo sun here, self-care habits are a very, very important factor for you. Leos need more pampering than any other zodiac. And no judgment. I'm a Leo man, so no judgment. Right. I am the same.
I get that.
Yeah, like self-care, very important. Pampering, very important, because Leos we get really grumpy and cranky when we don't feel like we're being taken care of.
For sure.
Let your smile. For sure.
Yeah, dude.
And it's, it's so important to incorporate this in like your daily routine. So when I'm saying routine, I'm not just talking about Leo suns. Like, yes, the pampering is very important for Leo suns, but it's even more important for you to incorporate it in your daily habits because your sun is in the sixth house and daily routines are a matter of subject to the sixth house.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm talking about like you personally in your chart, not necessarily Leos in general, because you probably spend a lot of time running around trying to take care of everybody else and making sure that other people are pampering themselves and they're not neglecting themselves. That if you don't, implement those habits of doing it for yourself, it's easy not to notice till it gets to be a lot, and then you're just like not going to be in a good mental place. Yeah. So that's very, very important. And I do see that you do that. It's funny, like, the little things you do, like the cinnamon in your coffee. And like you were talking a couple, I can't remember how many episodes ago it was, but I thought, oh yeah, I was like, there's like, I think it was when you guys were talking about through the pandemic, how did your routines go or something like that? And you were like, well, I do this and I do that. And I was just like, oh, good. Because that's what you need.
Crazy. Also, like something you said made me think, it's like whenever I give gifts, I always give like self-care type gifts to people. Yeah. Like bath salts or like just this, that, and the other. Cause I'm always like, just have some luxury. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you have no problem loving luxury because you have a Taurus moon as well. So like your Leo sun in the sixth, your Taurus moon, like you are about appreciating the finer things. You want to enjoy the finer things. And it is, it's not just about enjoying it. It's also about appreciating quality, right? So yeah, so daily routines for you, very important to always have that self-care. And, if it's important for you to do it for yourself, because when somebody else does it, it's probably just not going to be the exact way that you would have done it. And you probably won't enjoy it as much.
I feel called out, but yeah. I'm angry, but I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why it's important for you to do it. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make you the most happy and content on a daily basis. Now, you also have Mercury in your sixth house as well. So we're going to quickly touch on that little guy. So again, he looks like he's wearing the top hat. He's sitting right next to your sun sign. Mercury in astrology is how we intellectually process things. It's how we communicate. It's how our brain works, how we learn. So your Mercury is also in Leo. So how you learn and how you communicate, you're going to do that in a very Leo-esque way. and you have your Leo sun. So we've got a lot of Leo energy there in this house. And one note that I want to say with having Mercury in the 6th house also plays into the importance of daily self-care, because there's a lot of overworking, overthinking that can come into play here in the 6th house when we have Mercury. So your mind could be like just going and going and going and going.
Overthinking.
Yeah, it could be the mind. It could be those monsters right before you go to bed. I don't know. So that's something to be very aware of, because it's very easy for you to get mentally sidetracked and maybe obsess over projects to the point where you're not taking care of yourself the best way that you should be.
I need to go cry. Excuse me.
No, this isn't a shadow reading.
No, it's a validation cry.
Oh, yeah. Good. Okay. No, it's amazing how when I first got started in astrology, I like doing consultations. I really didn't expect, I guess, emotional reactions as much. I should have. I mean, now that I've been doing it, I'm like, usually tell people to have a box of tissues, because it is the validation, and it's kind of like the aha moments and the kind of like little clicking and understanding. And it can be really like emotional or validating, I guess is the word that comes to mind.
I was going to ask you, I was like, when you do these, do you have like people just like emotionally release all over the place all the time?
Oh,
yeah.
Sure.
Shadow readings are
the shadow ones.
I have yet to have a shadow reading where someone hasn't cried. I'm not trying to make people cry, so I don't.
Is that a challenge?
I was gonna say, Macy, do it.
So not that way. But it is why I do what I do, because I want to provide those moments for people, right? Like, I'm just a translator. I'm not coming up with anything myself. Right. I'm just translating these lines and these symbols for you so you can understand. So that is why I do what I do. So if you want to cry, go right ahead and cry.
Oh, I will. Oh, you bet.
Oh, I will. Mercury in the 6th house is also very health focused. And one thing where I see that really come out with you is your kitchen witchery. Being in the kitchen, making things for others. When you talk about herbs, you're both very green witchery. Like Macy has a shit ton of earth in her chart. And you have this 6th house Mercury. So I find like when you talk about herbs, Charlye, it's like, well, I do it like this, and you just put this in here, and it's very easy to do. And you could do it every day. And like, you look for ways to implement it into routine.
Yeah.
And that's what the 6th house is really about, is like, let's make this a daily habit. Let's make this a routine. How can I insert this in a way that's going to last and is going to work?
Cool.
So I see that when I listen to you talk about those things. Now, the moon sign, which is generally what I get most excited about talking with people, because the moon in astrology is just as important as the sun. Like I was mentioning before, it kind of being like the bedroom of the house. This is where you're most intimate. This is where you're going to share with more so people you know, as opposed to people you don't know. It might not be qualities that people see right away unless you have your moon sitting in the 1st house, which I have, which means their 1st house is very out there. So any planet you have in the 1st house can project out more than it would, but you don't have that. Yours is, where are we here? Yours is in the 2nd house. Okay. So you'll go to the 2nd house on the chart, and the moon thankfully just looks like a crescent moon. So it's fairly easy to find. I don't have to give it.
Am I dumb? Where are these numbers?
It's like on the bottom.
Yeah, the right by the center of the circle.
Yeah, and then there's a little moon. He's a cutie. I see the little Taurus horns. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So when you kind of get familiar with the symbols, that's when you start to you can look at a chart and kind of be like, okay, and you slowly it all come together. That's why I like it. You'd follow it when I'm talking, just because it kind of is an easy way to make yourself familiar with it. But yeah, the moon represents our deepest personal needs, our basic habits, reactions, our unconscious self. Where the sun acts like assertive, the moon is more reactive because it's more emotional. So it's how do we instinctively react or respond to problems? Where do we feel a need for a sense of security? It's also very associated with the mother and feminine energy in general. A lot of people, including myself, say, the moon is kind of like our inner child and our inner mother. It is very responsive, receptive, and reflective. And it's where we're going to have our most spontaneous and intuitive or instinctual reactions. Okay. So it's what gives us animation. It rules, rhythmic ebb and flow, emotional ebb and flow specifically. Where the sun is rational, the moon can tend to be more irrational. It goes through more phases, of course. And a lot of our habitual behaviors are ruled by the moon as well. So that's kind of just an idea of what the moon is in terms of astrology. Because I know the moon is talked about a lot, and you can do like spell work working with the phases of the moon and that kind of stuff. But in astrology, that is what the moon represents.
It's also, there's a lot of parallels there with tarot when you like the tarot card. Yeah.
There's a corresponding tarot card for every astrology sign. I use tarot a lot as well. And I loved, when I first started with astrology and tarot, I treated them as very separate things. And when I started treating them as partners, that's when it really opened up a lot of understanding for me, because there is a lot of correspondences with it.
Two things that are so incredibly in depth that it just goes over my head.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how you use them together.
Glass over.
Oh, it's so mundane, but it's like repetition.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least I find with tarot, the more I use my cards, the more I get to know them. Astrology is more mathematical. Because there's all these there's more that guidelines you strictly have to go by to get the right answer to the formula. Whereas tarot can be a little bit obviously more intuitive, but they really do go hand in hand in so many ways. So you have your moon in the fixed earth sign of Taurus. So just like we have a fixed sun sign, we also have a fixed moon sign. Okay. So there's a lot of that fixed energy going on. And you are dignified. Moon in Taurus is considered dignified. It's not ruled by the moon, but if you want a secondary spots, it would be Taurus. Yeah. Both you and Macy have exalted and dignified moons.
Oh.
Yeah. I know.
I was going to ask earlier when we were talking about exalted, and you said something about moon in Cancer, and I was like, Macy's moon in Cancer. So I okay, I get it. I'm learning.
Yeah.
And that's like the way I try to explain astrology sometimes can maybe sound a little bit tedious, because I really try to explain so you can understand not just what it means, but how I get there.
Yeah. And I'm also glad because it's not for nothing, there's going to be a lot of people listening who don't know anything about astrology. So it's also nice to have them kind of get the breakdown as well. So
yeah. I mean, I like it's, you teach a man, bring a man fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man to fish, he can feed himself. It's kind of like that, I guess, kind of mentality.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have a dignified moon, and the moon is ruled. Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus. So that's where this real taste for luxury comes in. Venus is all about like beauty and art and all that kind of stuff. So when we have moon in the sign of Taurus, you're very much going to get a lot of emotional, because the moon's emotional. You're going to get a lot of emotional nourishment from those kinds of things. Really, really enjoy them. But Taurus moons generally, they prefer familiar to exotic. And you can put up with a lot to preserve a sense of security around your home. Whereas you might not be able to do that in like a job setting. In a home setting, it's a very different cup of tea for you. You have a lot more like, okay, I might not like this, but I can work with it, or I'll stick it out. that kind of energy where you might not like, you don't have that in the work environment with your Leo sun in the 6th. The second house in astrology is all about like security, and house of value, and having the moon here, those are things that are really emotionally important to you. You like to feel secure in your dwelling. You like to feel secure materialistically, and that makes you feel then in turn emotionally secure. That's how your moon gets nurtured or feels safe, so to speak. And you're really, really like, you want to create a very solid, comfortable environment around you. Okay. You are very set in your ways, for sure. You like things the way that you like them, around the home and that kind of stuff. But it's not because you're trying to be bossy or dictate. You just want this really solid, comfortable existence around. And you want people to feel comforted when they come to like your home. You do love companionship, and the moon is very emotionally balanced here. So you do have a big capacity for people in terms of being able to handle all different types of people. You have a lot of patience for that. You can handle someone who's high strung. You can handle like, you have the understanding, the patience, the moon for that. So that, are you very patient with people, or am I like way out?
I think probably more so than, and this might be one of those times where Macy, you want to call me out, but like
the people that are close to you, like more your inner circle, you have a lot of patience with those people.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Now while you have patience with those people, it doesn't necessarily mean you like messy situations or emotional outbursts.
Yeah.
Say something there. Yeah. Like you handle it. You just greatly dislike it. Type of thing. You can still deal with it, but you're just like, ugh. Like deep down, like
it makes me very uncomfortable. I think.
Because it's not how you would react, because you have that patience. So sometimes when somebody else reacts that way, it can be you're just kind of like, okay, like but you can handle it. You can let them have their outburst, no problem. But you're like very much thinking about it.
Stored.
Like outwardly you'll be like, oh no, it's okay. No, and inside you'll be like, Jesus Christ.
Logging that one away, not forgetting.
Generally you do like to take your time before committing to anything, just because you do like that security and that comfort. So when I'm talking about, I'm not necessarily talking about like committing to what you're ordering at a restaurant or anything like that, but like more so stuff around your home where most people, you do tend to maybe like weigh things out and look at what groundwork is needed and that kind of stuff first. Because when you do commit to something in your home environment, so again, not a work environment, but more so in your home environment, you're very reliable there. You're going to persevere no matter what. You also really trust your instincts. This is an earth, like Taurus is of the earth, and it is fixed. So it moves. Fixed signs generally come to things very slowly. It's like a slow and steady wins the race type of energy. But you can generally trust your instincts, but you also like to analyze a little bit before you make a commitment, because once you make that commitment, you're kind of like locked in there for a good while. Yeah. So Taurus moons are also super romantic. Like I said, they are ruled by the Venus sign. So you're very affectionate with your loved ones, very faithful, very unwavering, very sentimental. And, you'll stick by someone through the best of times, the worst of times. You have this energy with your Leo and with your Taurus. You don't give up on people very easy. You'll hold on to them till your fingernails fly off, kind of. Oh yeah, Macy, I'm sorry. No, you don't like fingernails.
That just sounds so unpleasant.
Till they fly off.
Yeah, until they
fly off. But this loyalty is one of the most amazing things about you. And you really are super gentle and super thoughtful. You put a lot of thought into what you do for other people, and how they're going to interpret it. And you're very instinctual that way as well.
I think so.
You're like, do I?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I like that resonated like with me about you. Like, yeah.
Did it really? Okay. See, that is so, I know we talked about this a little bit, but like, it's so interesting to hear that from Macy's perspective, to hear that you agreed with that, because I was sitting here going, man, I hope so. I'd like to think that about myself. So like you coming in and being like, oh yeah, that's cool. I can't wait to do that for you.
See, and there's that giving, thoughtful nature. You immediately went with, I can't wait to do it for you.
Oh, wow.
What you're talking about. But no, it's cool to have someone sit in on a reading with you sometimes, because we don't always realize things about ourselves, right? Because we're in our own heads. We're not necessarily always observing our behavior or observing ourselves. So it is funny sometimes to have, I've had people sit in before for their friends' readings and stuff like that. And they'll always chime in. And it's funny when it's for like a shadow reading and someone will be like, that doesn't sound like me at all. And their friends like, you need to be taking notes on that aspect. Now, Taurus is the symbol of Taurus. When we're talking about symbolisms, it is the bull. Okay. So right away, there's usually, when people hear Taurus, they think, oh, bullheaded stubbornness. Yes, you can be very emotionally unmovable.
Yeah.
Like if you feel a way about something, and no, this is feel, not think, like you can change your mind, but changing the way that you feel is a much slower, longer, harder process for you. You
100,
you cannot be moved. Like Taurus moons are very, very much like that. But again, there's that deep, deep, deep patience. But people a lot of the time can take that patience. They think you're a pushover. No. When the time comes to move or put your emotions out there or get angry in a way that's needed, you can do it. You just prefer not to until you've been pushed to a certain point where you're like, okay, enough's enough. Like I'm ready to go. Now, so you have it in the second house, okay, which is actually traditionally the Taurus house in the zodiac. So with moon in the second house, I kind of briefly touched on this before. The second house is called the house of value. So it has a lot to do with possessions, money, material things, earnings, and expenditures. It also can signify a way someone attracts or repels money or the way you choose to spend it. It has a lot to do with ownership, as well as your system of values. So what you see value in, and especially self-worth and self-value as well. So emotionally, those areas can be where you get very tied up or where a lot of this nature comes out. Very important for you. I think I mentioned this before, but yeah, to feel very materialistically secure, for you to feel emotionally safe. The two can really affect each other.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the ones that I had a hard time because that's another thing that I feel like I sort of knew about having, the Taurus moon, whatever, is like, that's something that I think I struggled with for a little while. Cause I was like, oh, that means I'm materialistic. And it was like a bad thing.
I know. Yeah. That's a common reaction to the second house. And I'm like, no, it's not about materialistic and being like in the traditional sense of the word materialistic, but it has a lot more to do with, I would use the word security. Security is a much bigger concern. And that is where you find a lot of security, where most people or a lot of people do. There's nothing wrong with it at all. And with value, where is the value in this? Where is the value in myself? It's more so about that. But it is like what you just said is like totally common for people when they first come into encounter with Taurus or the second house, because a lot of the keywords can be the same with those two. But yeah, not at all. Doesn't mean you're a materialistic bitch.
You heard it here first. I'm going to quote you on that.
You like to have that, material and financial security to feel safe in life. And You can get very emotionally attached to items, but that doesn't mean in terms of I want to accumulate so many items. It means like, look at how you feel about your garden gnomes, right? Like very sentimental, very like they mean something. You're collecting them, I think, right?
Yeah. I can't pass up a gnome.
Yeah. So that's a good example of that. It's these things hold sentimental value to you, and you like to collect them. You like to have them around because the moon is emotional and it's nostalgic and sentimental. And you find a lot of that energy with things like that. Yeah. Now, sometimes, like I kind of briefly mentioned before, like not sometimes, the moon is always going through its phases, right? And, you know, it gets bigger, it gets smaller. It's like, it's waves. So sometimes where you find value or how you feel about yourself can kind of feel like that when you have the moon in the second house, because it's going through all those phases, all those different stages surrounding your self-worth or your stability or your security. So you might find yourself very emotionally changeable around those subjects because it's just the moon doing her thing, changing every day. But the moon is also a planet of emotional intelligence. And I see this so much in you when on the podcast. Your emotional intelligence is like very, very spot on. And that's a big, like moon in the second house, moon in Taurus, thing. You have the emotional wisdom and a lot of emotional strength. You have a real talent, for building other people up in their sense of self-worth, particularly emotional self-worth. Stumbling over my words here, sorry. Particularly emotional self-worth, because this is where you truly understand value. You understand the value of emotion. You understand being full and being empty. Like you have a real instinctive. Oh, sorry, my boyfriend's
hello.
Hi there.
Hi. Out really fast because he's a Pisces rising like you. And I knew you were going to be a Pisces rising before I did your chart. He's one too. He's sunburnt, so he's not as pale as he usually is. But the blonde hair, do you see?
Yeah.
Rising trait right there.
Really?
Yeah. So your rising sign has a lot to do with your appearance. I had you pegged as a Cancer rising or a Pisces rising. I couldn't decide which one you were. I knew it was water. But I ended up, I'm like, he must be Pisces because he looks like their coloring is like Quinn and you is exact same like this. And yeah, there you go, Pisces rising. So
crazy.
Cool.
Briefly, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to sidetrack too hard. What is Macy's rising?
Leo.
Mine's a Leo.
And I knew she was going to be
that's right.
Because of her hair. Again, hair.
Yeah.
My brother's a Leo rising as well. So I picked up Macy's rising breaking into song. My brother does that all the time.
Yeah.
He'll be like walking through the grocery store and he'll be like,
yeah. It just happens.
So this is how Leo is different in a rising sign than a sun sign. When it's a rising sign, it's very much on the forefront. It's like you see it. It's immediately out there. And so I knew Macy for sure was Leo. She also kind of has that like very regal presence. Yeah, you want to try and impress her like right away.
She's a big cat. Yeah. No, and that's something. It's funny that you say that because that's something that I do see with other people. I guess is I feel like it's always very important. I've noticed for other people to like, does Macy like me? You know, like.
I come off naturally intimidating, and I've been told that my entire life. Like I'm a naturally very, and it's not for like any reason, like not intentionally. It's just I feel like I look big and scary, but I'm also sitting there kind of like quiet, and I just don't think people know what to do with that.
Absolutely. And I get the same thing because I have a Leo moon in the first house. So when I mentioned before things being in the first house, it's much more apparent. But like Macy's hair and I is like incredibly similar.
It's the big wave. Yeah.
Like I tied it up. I had it down and it was a disaster. So I just tied it up. But because it's in the first house, I take on characteristics of that sign physically as well, because it's in the first house. So my point being Yeah, it was something, I totally get it, because people are always like, you look like such a bitch. And I'm like, I'm not. I was like, I just,
I'm pretty fucking nice. I just look like this.
I look like I'm really nice. Like, but it's just, Leo risings have this very authoritative presence. Whereas, so it's not as warm as.
No. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's more authoritative. It's more that regal. It's more of, I'm sitting on this throne, come forth, type of energy. Unintentional, but
there.
But there. But yeah, and like, to get back to the emotional stuff with you, Charlye, I also see it a lot on the Facebook group. People mention that they've talked to you and you've helped them, and I really see it within you. And I don't know if you've ever thought about maybe becoming a counselor, or like, obviously you're working for yourself full time. So, I mean,
but
I absolutely have. And yeah, that's crazy.
And also just with her, the ability of healing, and I know it's not, to me, it is emotional. Like the ability of healing with her hands that she has, is to me something that, because I've had like a lot of massages. I'm a very tight person, but nobody fixes me like Charlye. There's an extra level of care there, and it's like, I feel like, and it's not just because I'm Macy and she knows me, but I feel like she probably did that to her own clients. Like when she was working, she gives that bit of, it's not like, it's not like anybody can just do Reiki, but I feel like it's almost like the same principle of like, she's also putting in that emotional care and like that going into it. And I think it's just a natural thing that comes through.
Well, absolutely. Because she understands the value. Yeah. And when somebody understands the value of something, it's a completely different energy than going in and kind of doing things on autopilot. Which I feel like she can't do that. That's why she can't work anywhere. You're like, she's very sincere. She understands the value of emotion.
Yeah. Sorry, excuse me.
I didn't think that as a dig. That sounded a little bad, but I just meant your gift. Like,
it just makes sense.
No, it's not. No. I almost take that as a point of pride. I'm like,
it just honestly is validating at this point. It's like, that makes sense.
Yeah. So you have a real talent there with that is amazing. And I really think anything that you wanted to ever get into, like whether it be Reiki or social work or counseling or anything along those lines, which you kind of already do, I'm sure, in different ways already, but you'd be very good at that. And it would be very emotionally fulfilling for you. Maybe one of those things where you can have that passion in a sustainable way, if that makes any sense.
We want to take a quick break to talk to you about today's sponsor.
Charlye, what do you do if something just gets in the way of your mental health?
Macy, I'm not always sure what to do when something gets in the way of my mental happiness.
Well, let me tell you something, Charlye. There is a service that can help you with just that situation. Listen, I'm going to talk to you about today's sponsor, BetterHelp.
BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your very own licensed professional therapist, and everything is 100% completely confidential.
That's right. And confidential to the point of being able to have these conversations from your own bedroom, if that's what you choose to do. And you can do it on the phone, on the computer, via chat. You can text, you can email, flexible, however you want it to be.
You can even start communicating in under 24 hours. So you'll get a response and start your therapy quicker, honestly, than like booking an in-person session, waiting for it, going to it, and then having that first one that's all like, well, fill out all the paperwork you want. So you can start communicating in under 24 hours. This is not self-help, dude. It's professional counseling.
That's right. And because it's online, you can find a multitude of different specialties that you might not be able to find in your area. And if you just feel like you're not jiving, you can change your therapist at any time and get on talking to one that really gets you.
And the things that they can really get you on include, but are not limited to, depression,
stress,
anxiety,
relationships,
sleeping problems,
family conflicts,
trauma,
LGBT plus matters,
anger,
grief,
and self-esteem, and
more. And better yet, listeners of WBAHU Beans can get 10% off your first month by going to BetterHelp. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/witch.
Anywhere you are in the world, join over 800,000 people who are taking charge of their mental health today and get that sweet fat 10% off by visiting BetterHelp, HELP.com/witch today.
Now, another thing that I really found with the moon in this house and it being in Taurus is there's a real feeling of treasuring your ancestors. Like you probably like.
Sorry, that just worked out. I didn't mean that to just escape my body.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you like you will probably treasure family heirlooms, or you like to work with ancestors, which I know you've mentioned before, so I think you do. Yeah, there's a real aspect to that there. There's a respect for lineage, the value of lineage, and wanting to work. You have a lot of like, between your Pisces rising and your Taurus moon, there's a lot of like crown chakra type of energy going around with you. Like it's easier for you to work with spirit because you're grounded. You have an earth moon. You're not going to get carried away by it.
I'm sorry. This is my second. Whoa.
Yeah, no, because you're very grounded. Like working, I find people that have earth moons generally are not that they're better, but they're more comfortable working with spirit because they're very emotionally rooted down. So they don't get overwhelmed by that energy. Whereas for someone like myself, who's a fire moon, or like Macy, a water moon, which is more emotional in reaction, that's like shit's frightening. Like it's, you know what I mean? You don't feel as grounded working with it, and it gets very overwhelming.
Yeah. It's weird. It's almost like backwards. It's like I always feel very grounded as a person, but when it comes to, and then it's because of the spirit thing, though. It's like because that to me is the opposite of being grounded. If you're working with spirit, you're not fucking grounded, and that's not true. But it's like I am such a grounded, earthy person. It's like I have to let and I do, but it feels weird. You know, it's like my feet are off the ground. Yeah. It's like it doesn't feel right. Yeah, it feels weird.
Yeah, you're not. I get it because I have a fire moon. Like I totally understand. And it's with Charlye, because she has this Pisces rising. So she has like the most grounded moon and the most ungrounded rising sign.
There you go.
So nice. So I feel like Pisces is about transcendence. It's the mystic. It's magic. Like it is also called like, the dumpster can of the zodiac because it's the last one. But the idea behind that is you have all the qualities of all the signs within you is the idea. You have lived enough past lives that you have lived a life of every single other sign. So you have a lot of like this transcendence happening, or this ability to access kind of different realms. But Cancer can be like that. But because you have a Pisces rising and then you have this very grounded Taurus moon, that's where I think a lot of this, ease or familiarity, probably a better word, comes for you with that.
Cool.
Yeah. Also, it was really funny. We're talking about moon signs. It was on the pod a few weeks ago. Macy, you were talking about your apartment and the record player and how it, you made it work and you were recalling the memory. And you both talked about how you remember things. And Charlye, you were like, well, for me, it's all sensory. And I was like, yeah, you're a Taurus moon. Taurus is all about the senses, and the moon's emotional, right? So when you recall things, you're going to remember what they felt like, what they tasted like, what were you hearing? But for Macy, she's a Cancer moon, which is all about the feeling. She just was talking about, I felt this way. Like I remember things like the feeling in the moment. But that's the difference between the two moons and kind of how they're both sentimental, but they're sentimental. They recall things kind of in a different way.
That's crazy because Macy, I don't know if you know, but like whenever you talk about an experience you've had, that's something that you do say a lot at the beginning of it, is you say, and I just remember feeling so XYZ. And it's crazy because you say that a lot. So to know that that's how you recall things is that's
it
cool.
really is. And it's to the point where I almost consider that I have a terrible memory, but it's only that things truly get retained if there's like an emotional imprint that came with it. And it's like, then I'll remember it until I am rotted in the grave. But it's like, I need a little bit of like panache of emotion in order to get it to stick it in the brain.
It. And with Charlye, you paint a picture. You tell us what was going on. You tell us, well, it tasted like this. Like it's very like different.
I was going to say, I only remember it if it tastes good.
But it's very representative of your moon signs and how like the moon is all about memory and nostalgia and emotion and stuff like that. So you're both very much tell stories like your moon signs, which I find really cool. Now let's get to that Pisces rising because we were just talking about it. So the rising sign in a zodiac is the ruler of the first house. So we're going to find the first house on the chart there. And you're going to see that the first house, you just squeak in as a Pisces rising. You are almost an Aquarius rising, like probably the difference of 20 minutes. But you just squeaked into Pisces. You see the AC there on the left-hand side? That's where your ascendant begins. And rising and ascendant mean the same thing. So you may hear me use both words, but they're the exact thing. So your rising sign is the ruler of your first house. And the first house in astrology is the house of self. So this is why it can have an influence on the way we look. It's referred to as kind of like the mask or our outer facade in how the world sees us and the impression that we very first make with people. So that's when I mentioned like, I could pick out the Leo with, Macy right away. It was one of the first things. It's how you present yourself. And I thought you definitely were a Cancer or Pisces rising because you were very gentle in the way you first come across. So it, in terms of energy, like it's how we look at the world, how we flow and view the outer world. Our rising sign, it can be more prominent sometimes when we're younger and then become less prominent when we're older and we kind of grow more so into our sun and our moon sign. But I think it's applicable your whole life. I've definitely found it so. And you have actually planets in your first house as well, which I'll get into. So you have Mars sitting there and your North Node sitting there as well. But the ruler of your first house is Pisces. So that's where we will begin. So your ruling planet, in every chart, there's a ruling planet, and it's the planet that rules the rising sign. So your rising sign is Pisces. So your ruling planet is Neptune.
Cool. Neptune is my favorite planet.
It was always mine. I thought it was pretty.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Pattern.
Well, so your ruling planet's Neptune. So Neptune in your birth chart is going to have, extra significance to it, how it interacts with the other planets. When we eventually look, or if you ever have like a transit consultation, which is like how everything's transiting through your chart now, as opposed to when you were born. So Neptune will be of, significance to you. So that is a very special planet for you. Now, Pisces risings, like I mentioned before, they often have very pale skin, like kind of, very porcelain kind of like skin. Don't really like the sun all that much.
For sure.
Often very lighter hair.
Almost like Nordic, like very Scandinavian, it sounds like.
Yeah. And very, very sensitive constitution. So when we're thinking about, because it rules your physical self, can be very, it's not that you have like a bad constitution or a sickly constitution, but you are very affected by things that you put in your body. So you might be extra sensitive to like alcohol. Sorry.
I don't mean to be laughing while you're talking.
Sorry. Maisie, I know what you're thinking. Shut up.
Okay. I can probably guess. And yeah, like I said, my partner's a Pisces rising as well. I'm like, you thought that was a good idea, hey? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Macy, that's why the next time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Your sensitive Neptune.
All right. All right.
But Pisces risings, they are really, really almost like ethereal. They can seem a little bit set apart or like they're living in their own fantasy. Just kind of walking around, partly there, partly not there. Your theme songs playing in your head while you walk street, you're enjoying that. Like a lot of that energy. A lot of the time when you're younger, you can feel strangely detached, kind of like you're not of this world. It may have taken you kind of, or felt like it took you maybe a little bit longer to, how do I phrase this the right way? Like to get what this world was about, because you're not really it. Like you're so connected with spirit and you're so connected with like the crown chakra. You're all up in here. For Pisces rising kids, or when you're younger, you can kind of just feel very detached, but not in like an emotionally detached way, just like you're kind of half here, if that makes any sense. And that's because for Pisces risings, your challenge is to be in the body because you are mostly spirit. And so it's kind of like being in the body is something you almost have to learn when you come, like when you're younger. You just feel like you're operating completely out of body a lot of the time.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Rising signs are often the ones where people are like, whoa, like, they're usually big reactors. Now, Pisces is like, honestly, like I was saying before, super mystical. It's the dream weaver of the zodiac. Like you can experience life as a like trippy multi-dimensional experience. You have that ability, in ways that we all kind of wish that we did. People often say they're like, oh, Aquarius is the alien of the zodiac, or they're the ones that are the most out there. And it's like, no, they have interest in that. The real alien is Pisces. Like they are not from here.
It's like I want to believe, and I could be totally off here, but I want to believe like Pisces could be the alien, but Aquarius is like the Bigfoot.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to,
because we can never really access Bigfoot, and we're never really going to get the heart of an Aquarius. So
he might be an interdimensional being, but he might not. Nobody knows because no one can get close enough to find out.
Love it.
Yeah, that's actually really, really good. Yeah, 100%. No one even knows what his name really is. Like,
no pictures, really.
Yeah, he's a low commitment kind of vibes.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce.
I'm gonna head out.
Well, Macy's already left like twice, so
yeah, can't pin me down.
That's what Bigfoot's really doing. He's just got to go to the bathroom. He's just got to pee all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. That's why. It's just for a big guy. He has a little bladder.
He does. Yeah. He also has kidney disease, Macy.
Oh my God. Bigfoot has a tiny bladder. What a sweetie pie. Love him.
Big feet, tiny bladder. Okay.
Are very adaptable. They're mutable in quality. So whereas you have a fixed sun and a fixed moon, your rising sign and how you act in groups and you come across is very mutable, very go with the flow. You can adapt. Pisces are like a chameleon. They can adapt to whatever's in front of them. Oh, you're this kind of person. I can be that kind of person for 5 minutes to entertain, like to make this go well. No problem. And then you go and talk to someone else and you're like, okay, we're going to be this kind of person now. Great. Like very easy for you to work a room that way. You're great to have at parties.
Oh, hey.
That's true. Yeah, I'd say that's true.
Well, thank you. Wow. That also makes me wonder that makes me wonder about Hunter, because Hunter, I feel like is the same way. I feel like whatever it's got to be that same mutable, kind of vibe. I feel like
yeah,
with his whatever is like,
he's in like a good way. He's slippery. He can kind of be, he can be comfortable around anyone, and people are just super comfortable around him, like immediately. Yeah. And it's an enviable trait for me.
Oh my God. Yeah. Because I'm with you, and the people are afraid of us when like we walk into a room. I'm part of that club. And then Quinn, who's a Pisces rising like you, Charlye, like you guys will walk in and everyone will be, aren't they nice? Oh,
yeah, immediately. Yeah.
I'm just like, whatever.
Like they release like a nice pheromone, and it's like, they're good people.
They're like, we smell fish, but in a really good way.
I smell Pisces.
Because Pisces, the symbol for Pisces is fish. So that's where that comes from. If you don't know, that could sound really bad.
Sorry, excuse me.
No, I'm sorry. But yeah, you have that ability to really relate, get along with, any type of personalities, stronger personalities. You're fine with them. But you are very, very sensitive to energy that's around you. You might find yourself, it's very easy for you to kind of get drained and not realize that you're being drained till you leave. And then you'll walk out and be like, oh my God, I'm so tired. In the moment, you're not going to feel it. You're vibing, you're being, your fabulous mutable self. You're talking to everybody. But the second you walk out the door, it can be super, super exhausting. So something to just watch out for if you're spending like a lot of social time or in big groups, make sure you have a little bit of recovery time, because it does, drain you. And in the moment, you'll never realize it. You won't.
Yeah. See, I just feel myself draining in the moment. Like, I can almost imagine a gauge that I just see draining.
In the moment, I'm always like the person who, and I'm sure this is annoying, but to me, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm always the person that's like, let's keep it going. Let's keep the good vibes going. Let's go do it. Let's go to a secondary location. Whatever. But
no, absolutely. Because you're like, let's go with the flow. Let's go here. Let's go there. You want to do shots. Yeah. And you can do it, and you can go far. Like you have your Pisces rising Leo sun. Like, you could party far, but your Pisces rising is just going to be like exhausted. And you're gonna have to sit in a dark room.
I need 2 weeks to every one night party.
Yeah, exactly. You're charged up when you're there, but when you leave, you can get very easily depleted that way. And there is, again, like that flip side to the go to the flow, right? Go with the flow energy. It can end up being destructive if you don't pay attention. You're not getting yourself enough of that time where you get to rest and replenish, because you have this really beautiful, like mystical energy, spiritual energy, and it's very, very common for people to want to latch onto that, because not a lot of us, are able to make that energy so accessible, because we're just all made differently, right? But with a Pisces rising, that energy is very accessible to others because it's what you bring first and foremost. So just always be aware of people trying to take advantage of that, because you are mutable in nature. You might not realize it, but energy vampires, whatever you want to call them, definitely could try to latch onto you because you're just, you glow that way.
Interesting.
Now, another thing I thought was really cool, because for Pisces risings, they need to sometimes like empty out all that energy, because just like you give out energy, you can pick up energy as well. And I always call the free writing, is it free journal writing, where you just
automatic writing?
Yeah, automatic writing. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Really helpful for Pisces risings. Like I suggest it to my boyfriend all the time. I'm like, you just need to sit down and just like
brain dump,
write it out. And so it's out of you. And I know you mentioned that, or I think you did on the pod the other day. And I was like, oh, there's your Pisces rising. You're already doing it. Good girl. I was like, keep that up. So that's a really good tool for you. Now, as I mentioned before, Pisces has a lot to do with the crown chakra, transcendence, and it can have a lot to do with dreams. Now, I can't remember which one of you are into the astral projection. I think it's okay, so I see. So for you, Charlye, Pisces has a lot to do with dreams, but you're already untethered enough here on Earth. You don't need to be untethered up and out there. Mm-hmm. So there is, when you mentioned, you were like, oh, it's not really your thing, I don't think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So for Pisces, there's a lot of meaning in dreams. You're more about dream interpretation.
Yeah.
Wow. You are about travel. Mm-hmm. So you can do a lot of dream work, just you're not going to be that interested in projection because you walk around projecting out of this all the time. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, dream interpretation could be something that you could really get into, or that you might be really skilled at. Do you dream a lot?
Kind of, sort of, but I have a big draw to dream work, I think. I've gone down the lucid dreaming, I've gone into that and stuff like that. But yeah, that's really interesting because when it kind of does get to that line of projecting and I'm like, no, stop there. I'm good.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, no, you're walking around that world all the time. Yeah, you don't need to do it anymore.
Untethered.
But yeah, overall, like your demeanor when people first meet you, very kind and calm, cheerful, easily adaptable. Really important for Pisces rising people to have a very down to earth and dependable partner. Romantically, something to kind of tether us to this world.
To the ground.
Yeah. So that can be like of a lot of importance for Pisces risings. But yeah, a lot of romance. You see the world very romantically. Mm-hmm. Pisces is very romantic. You've got a real, actually very romantic big three. You have Pisces, Leo, and Taurus. So a lot of romance there, but Pisces sees everything with rose-colored glasses, so to speak.
It reminds me of the wallpaper. I'm laughing because it reminds me of the wallpaper in the hotel room. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Charlye?
Oh, fuck.
This was the sweetest thing. No, it was a very sweet moment. And it's like, it's the difference between our two minds and why I envy Charlie's, like that romantic mind.
Yeah.
So we walk in, we just got a hotel room the other night for no reason other than to just like jam in a hotel room. Yeah, it was a great time. Yeah. We needed it. And so we walk in, and it was actually a pretty sweet ass hotel room. And one whole wall was an accent wall with like this, it looked like pour painting. Yeah, it's exactly what it looked like. But it was, and so it was papered. It was not it was wallpaper. And so Charlye was looking at it and she was like, man, how did they do this? Like, and I feel like I was quiet for a while because I didn't want to be like an asshole, because I was actually like, man, that would be cool. I think it's neat, to like view and I was just like, it's paper. And
she's like, it's wallpaper, Charlye.
Yeah.
Where like, I thought that somebody had like turned the wall vertical, pour painted it, and then like,
but that's great. Like, that's so wonderfully whimsical, and it's like, I walk in and I'm just like, that's paper glued on in segments and move on. It's much less fun.
Yeah, I know. No, that's actually a perfect example of a Pisces rising. Instantly charmed.
Yeah.
Just like,
yeah. I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know because Charlye and Lyra remind me so much of each other. It is just ridiculous.
Both Pisces rising, actually. Yeah, I mentioned
that. So I fucking knew it. Yeah. When you were talking about Pisces rising and all of this, I was like, this is, because I said the same thing to her when she said the wallpaper thing. I was like, you and Lyra are the same.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Their view of the world is very, very similar. They're both Pisces rising. And it's funny, you all have, after we do Macy's chart, I'll do like a interconnective, this is what you guys have that is the same, but different, like blah, 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 blah. You all have a lot of similarities, just in different places. But yeah, Lyra is also a Pisces rising, 100%. Cancer sun, Pisces rising, Gemini moon.
God, water. So, everywhere, water, all the water.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's too funny. I'm so glad you pegged that before I even said. I love that. So then we're going to move into some of the other inner planets right now. So the inner planets, which go out to, well, I generally just go out to Mars. You can go out to Jupiter if you want to, but I generally stick with like Mercury, Venus, Mars.
Okay.
And then sun, moon, and rising at the beginning. Otherwise, it's just like So much information. So Venus in astrology, which I kind of touched on before when we were talking about Taurus, because it's the ruling planet for Taurus, is how we view relationships. So it's how we like to engage in relationships. It's, how we interpret beauty, where we do see value. It does have to do with value as well, and how we like to be treated. And it really does come into play with your sense of style as well. Like when I think like about how people dress and how they, do their makeup and that kind of stuff, Venus really comes into play as well. So Charlye, yours is in Gemini. So we're going to look in the 4th house.
Okay.
And it's a circle with the cross on it, not the one that looks like a key.
A key.
Okay. The little like feminine symbol, right?
Yeah.
Or like the little lady symbol. Okay.
So that's your Venus, and that is in the sign of Gemini. So Gemini is a very, 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 very playful sign. This is a mutable air sign. Okay. So you're really like, everything you make very fun, I would say. Very playful, loves to talk and exchange information.
Okay. Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be like information like you're trying to learn information. Whereas Macy has Venus in Aquarius. So that's more of that kind of energy. Whereas Venus in Gemini is like, I can just chatter. I don't care what kind of information.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, like it can be anything. Like you're really good at filling the space, being able to like bring up things in conversation. If there's a silence, you can just be like, well, blah, 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 blah. And just kind of save the moment, It does. Again, makes you great to have at a party. But you're a real jokester in terms of like dealing with other people, like your friends, your partner. Having fun with your partner is very important. So, you want to go out and do things. You don't always want to be at home. You want to go and have experiences with your partner, where you can have fun and flirt with each other and that kind of stuff that you might not, as much do at home. Mm-hmm. Really, really good at talking to all different kinds of people. Geminis, it's not so much about relating to all kinds of different people, but you can just talk and talk and talk and talk and fill those silences. So people find you very easy to talk to because of that. So no problems there with communication at all. But one thing, have you ever thought about writing, like writing a book?
Yeah, for sure. I've always
poetry
fancied
for you.
Yeah.
A lot of poetry, especially as an adolescent.
I'm the kind of person who is like, what do you do? I'm like, well, I do podcasts, but like at heart, I'm a writer.
Oh my God.
One of those assholes.
Oh God.
Okay, I'm one too. Like, but I really think that you should for a couple different reasons. One, you have Venus in Gemini, so you're really good at communicating words.
Word vomit.
Yeah, you're really, really good at that. You also have Jupiter sitting in the 3rd house, which is the Gemini house. So if you look quickly to the 3rd house, you're going to see the symbol that kind of looks like a number 4 there. Mm-hmm. You also have Jupiter in Gemini as well. And Jupiter in a chart is where you are most likely to encounter abundance and luck. It's a very fortunate planet. And you're sitting in the Gemini 3rd house, which has to do with writing and communication. So if it is something you have been thinking about, I encourage you to do that. I think you'd be very good at it.
I think it would be good to she overthinks writing a lot, and it's like, that's why I think, like, for instance, like our Patreon stuff, like you lean a lot on like video stuff because it's like she can talk, but when it comes to like the writing, like the blogs, I know you've mentioned in the past, like it's difficult to not overthink what you're writing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Gemini energy can be like a ping pong energy. Okay. Like, but like just going like this, like, you know what I mean? And you have Mercury, which we touched on before, in the 6th house, which is Virgo house, which is perfection over, being over analytical. And Gemini is actually ruled by Mercury. So you have a lot of that energy going on. And I think that when we touched upon the free writing, even before, something that might be helpful is like, just get it out. You can always edit, right? Like you can always edit, but you're never going to get that first draft done.
Yeah. That's why I don't
vomit it out.
Yeah. And that's why if my first draft doesn't look like the final draft, I'm like, fuck it. Yeah.
And that stalls the creative process 100%. You know what I mean? So I encourage you to just try to, vomit it out like you vomit out words. Like, just don't worry about it being perfect. All
right.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think that's something that I see in your chart that I think would be really good for you, that you could be very successful at. So now we're going to move to Mars. And I've referenced the Mars in Aries a little bit already in our time. And we're going to go back to the first house. So Mars is the one that looks like a very masculine symbol. It's the circle with the arrow coming out of it. Yeah. So that you have Mars in your first house in the sign of Aries. So because it's in your first house, a lot of these characteristics are also going to be very much at the forefront. Okay. And how you project yourself into the world. You're going to have a lot of this Mars and Aries energy coupled with your Pisces rising energy as well, because they're both there in your first house. Pisces ruling it and Mars living in it. Okay. Pisces owns the house and Mars pays rent to live there.
All right.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah.
Because it's good to kind of like put it in your mind. That way it just makes it less astrology jargon and it kind of makes sense. So Pisces home, Mars lives there though.
Okay.
So Mars in astrology, as you can kind of guess, just because we know Mars is like Aries, or it's very masculine energy, is the planet of energy. It reigns over our willpower or the urge to do any type of wild activity. The sun symbolizes life. The moon gives us security and maintains it. And Mars brings energy into living matter and kind of injects like the daring and the stamina and the go out there and go, the aggression. And it has a lot to do with our energy levels, our drive. So how we go to get things done. How do we take action? Right? Because we all take action in different ways. It has a lot to do with our sex drives as well, like what we like sexually, and what we can be attracted to in the other sex or the same sex or, whoever you're attracted to. A lot of the time can be represented in Mars. A lot of people traditionally look to Venus. And yes, Venus can come into play with that because it is about relationships. But when you're thinking about attraction, that's primal. So that belongs to Mars. It's not romantic like Venus.
Right.
Yeah. So having Mars in the sign of Aries, you have another exaltation here. Okay. Mars rules the sign of Aries. So you are exalted again, Charlye.
Yeah. Set in your ways.
Yeah.
I also just, from the very basic level of what I know about Mars and Aries, I'm just like, oh shit. Just because I feel like Aries is always the one that people are like, that's the fire sign that's like,
Yeah. It packs a punch. It really does. I call it the fire sign that'll burn your eyebrows off.
Yeah. They're the wild card. They're the chaotic, I feel like.
They are, but I feel like, honestly, Aries gets picked on, man. Like, they're not that bad. They can be like,
I love that like stereotypical Aries energy.
Do too. I'm all for a feisty person.
Yeah, like they're feisty, and as soon as they get fired up, they come back down. Gemini, for example, is frantic all the time. Like there's not really like a slow, like it's always frantic, it's always chaotic. Aries can be that way, but for like a blast and then it's done.
Yeah.
Efficient.
Yes. Yeah. That is your Capricorn stellium talking. Yeah. Efficiency. You have your Mars in the sign of Capricorn as well.
Oh God.
Efficient energy. So Mars and Aries traits. So it is a fire sign. It is what we call cardinal in mode. So it is that get up and go type of energy. It's very driven, independent, confident, assertive, very in the moment. and very pioneering and hands-on. So when you have Mars in Aries, you can't just sit around and wait for things to happen. Like you're like, okay, what's our plan? How do we take action? You don't want to wait to take action if you have to, like if your Taurus moon is coming at you being like, well, we really should evaluate this. Like you can do that, but you're always itching to like, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is this in relation to like impulsiveness at all? Or
I feel like it has to be.
Yeah. Okay. It's animalistic. It's very impulsive, especially Mars and Aries. So, and that's where, you know, when you start looking at your chart, you can see where things counterbalance each other a little bit or affect each other a little bit, as it can get toned down or like reined in a little bit with your Taurus moon, like maybe around matters of the home, emotional matters. But then when it comes to like taking action, things you're going to go out and do, different story. So yeah, you can be very impulsive, very direct. Okay. But the good news is when you do get angry, you don't stay angry for very long. It is that burst of like, it comes out, you've addressed it, you've said your piece, and then you are able to walk away and leave it. You're not necessarily a grudge holder or somebody that's going to pick away at what happened. Like you're just kind of like, okay, well, I said how I felt and let's move forward. And generally, one thing I always say with this placement, when you do have Mars in Aries, because it has to do with our energy levels, if you do feel like you have excess energy, it's very important to get it out and burn it off. Okay. That doesn't necessarily mean, you know, go for a run, but you can end up feeling very fizzy with this placement. And then that energy can come out in ways that are less than
desirable.
Yeah. That can maybe, you know, end up being impulsive behavior that isn't great, or, you know, rushing out and doing something just because you feel like you have this energy sitting here. So it's important if you do feel, I call it feeling fizzy. If you do feel that way, it's, you know, it's, you can't really put your finger on it, but it's like, you kind of like, you feel it. It's important to get that out. So that can be generally, because this is Mars, you know, it could be like any type of physical activity, like boxing, walking, yoga, like just burn some of that energy off so you don't run out and go do something crazy. Or, or you can also like take a bath, you know, combat that fire with some water, that type of idea, or a shower. Be by the water. I like to sometimes combat elements with elements. Like when I know my chart, like when I feel like I have a fire moon. So when I get really worked up emotionally, I'm like, okay, let's water this down, take a bath. That kind of stuff. Skip school, Charlye, is your Aries Mars.
That makes sense to me. It's a real, you know, like, no, I'm not fucking feeling it. I'm not fucking doing it kind of attitude.
Yeah.
Like,
I have energy and I don't need to be here, and I could go off and do something I want to do. Why would I sit here and listen to you?
Also, what was the one that makes you not want to work for people? What is that one? We talked about it too, and I think we both have it.
Leo,
I don't remember in the sixth house or something like that. It's like, I feel like you also get that in there with that too. It's like, you know what? No.
Yeah. Well, it's impulsive, right? Like, I don't feel like going to school today, so I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
It's not like you planned to skip.
No, but you did. It happened.
Yeah, it's just, that's where the day took you. You went with your impulses. So it was funny listening to you talk about skipping school. I was like, that's the ram.
I wish I would have known that at that point. I don't know if I could have done anything about it, but
Mars and Aries are telling me to skip today, so I think I might.
I'm really going to listen to that. I have to listen to myself.
You know, I don't want to fight with the god of war. Listen to Mars.
No, join that army. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All in. Into war, perhaps death.
Only truancy. It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you pair it with that Pisces rising too, because that Pisces rising sign of yours is so go with the flow. That is like, it's like, you know, if your Pisces rising is kind of your Aries bitch. Like, it's just, oh, you want us to go do that? Okay. I don't care what it looks like. The teacher might miss me. I don't know. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because our rising sign is what we're thinking about, our appearances, right? Like how we're projecting outwardly. So the Pisces energy there is kind of like, whatever. What do you
see? This is fascinating. It's fascinating to me to realize how much pull the rising sign has. Like, big time. It's amazing how much, like, because you always hear about the sun, and it's like the more that you're talking, the more it's like, man, the sun is like there and whatnot, but like, nah, it's these other guys, that I'm really like, I'm finding Charlye in them a lot, like these other, like big time. It's like, okay, now this is the tapestry. It's making sense.
That's it. The tapestry is a beautiful word to use. And that's why it's like, I totally get it. Like I was saying earlier, when people are like, I'm not like my sun sign, I don't get it. I'm like, it's just such a part. Like, it's just a part. Like, it's not necessary. Like, most people resonate more. Now, I'm not saying this is the rule or this is true, but I'm just speaking about like within my own experience. Most people resonate more so with their rising sign or their moon sign. Mm-hmm. They tend to gravitate more towards those two. Lots of people do feel the most like their sun sign and whatever, but it's not uncommon for people to be like, even call themselves their rising sign once they get into it. You know what I mean? Because it's what they truly like identify with. Mm-hmm. And then, when you dive into aspects, which is all those lines, all the scary lines you see in the chart, that's a whole other thing, because aspects are how these planets interact with each other. And so how the energy of how they come out, the dynamic, this is more like how all these planets are taking action, and it gets a whole nother level of fascinating. Oh, yeah, it gets.
We could do like 3 weeks on Charlye's chart and then 3 weeks on my chart. It's amazing.
Her sun and her Mars have no problem speaking to each other. They have a trine. And let's see here. I'm just looking at the aspectarian. But your Mars is square your ascendant. So yeah, there's a struggle to find the balance between the Pisces and the Aries there. Square is what we call a harsher aspect. Trine is very free-flowing. We can communicate very well. Square is a challenge. And the Pisces and the Aries do not...
I think that makes sense. That fits.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Huh. There you go. Cool.
Now you do have a very, with Mars and Aries in the first house, especially, you project a lot of leadership qualities.
I'm sorry. Did you mention already? And if you did, I'm sorry. What does the first house rule over again?
Yeah. So the first house is our house of self. So that's why the ruler of the first house is so important. That's why it's actually considered a sign. Every house has a ruling sign in that zodiac wheel. Okay. And we could dive into each house and talk about, what it's like to have a Gemini fourth house, all those kinds of things. But the most important house is the first. Well,
gotcha.
The most house to do with our core being ourself is the first house.
Okay.
So that's why when there's a planet there is added significance to that within ourselves, because that's the house of self. Whereas when we're looking at the sun being in the sixth house, all of those sun qualities are going to be highlighted and add significance to sixth house subjects.
Gotcha.
Which is that makes sense. Yeah. So it's, once you kind of get the math or like the formula, it all starts to make a little bit more sense. I promise, because I know it's really overwhelming. But with having Mars in the first house, the leadership qualities you can bring very much to the forefront. You're very comfortable leading large groups. You are at ease with that, and people can gravitate towards you for that. Because we think about, Aries, god of war, leads an army, right? So you have the ability to lead large groups, inspire large groups, and really energize large groups.
I'm Jasper from Twilight.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
He is your favorite.
He was mine too. And also, this has nothing to do with astrology, and I don't know where we're fucked up in our charts, but we both had the biggest thing for Jafar. Oh my Every time you mention your like thing for Jafar, I'm like, I know.
I know.
It's that upper lip, man. That upper lip just has to reach out and grab you.
I think I was attracted to the power. I don't know.
Yeah. And the fit. The outfit is loud and confident. He's a confident man. You say a lot about Jafar, but you got to say he's confident.
If I was going to hedge a bet, I would say it's our Pisces, because I'm a Pisces sun and you're a Pisces rising, and they were saying how we need, like a really confident, controlled partner. Maybe that's it.
Whereas Macy just calls him a fucking loser.
I think he is a fucking loser, but whatever. To each their own.
And then, two more. I mean, I could talk about your chart for hours and hours and hours, but what I had written down and just of things I wanted to go over, I want to go over what we call the IC and the MC. So we're going to look at the chart here. Now, how we found the ascendant, where you saw the AC on the outside of the circle around the first house. We're going to go down to the fourth house, and you're going to see the IC sitting right out there. And then you're going to see directly across the chart, at the top of the chart, the bold line leads up to your MC, the midheaven.
Yeah.
So the idea of the IC and the MC is, the IC is like, I always say, think of a tree. So the IC is like the roots of the tree. It's your experiences, the fourth house. It's always in it. It's your early experiences in life. It's things that you encountered very early that you had to grow with or grow out of. And as you grow up, you move towards this midheaven or MC energy and how you go about the world. If that makes any sense. I'd like to use the tree analogy for it, because I think visually that's, probably the easiest way to explain it. But they're opposite, obviously, ends of your natal chart. So the midheaven's at the top, IC is at the bottom. And the IC also, I use it a lot in shadow work because it's considered like the roots, right? So it's the deepest, darkest, quietest, most personal place in your chart. This is like how you're going to be when you're alone and nobody else is watching. Okay.
This is the shit that I give it to me. Yes. This is like the most fascinating aspect.
Because I was like, I'm not going to go full on shadow reading here for your first time.
But we're gonna, I swear, we're gonna one day.
Something we could get more into. So that is like, very vulnerable. Like, you're only gonna, when we're thinking about it as a house, it's not a house that you're really gonna let too many people into.
Okay, right.
The fourth house, okay? It's where you feel very vulnerable.
Okay, so that's sitting here. Does that mean that's...
What is that little symbol? What is that yellow
Gemini?
Symbol? Yellow symbol.
The one where her IC is. Gemini.
Yeah, that's Gemini.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your IC is in Gemini and your MC is in Sagittarius. So up at the top, you'll see the MC is there with the Archer. So the MC, which is considered the highest point of our chart, is always next to our 10th house cusp. So the entryway of the 10th house, it is exactly opposite your IC. So where the IC is private persona, the MC is public persona. Okay.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Has a lot to do often with our fathers. Father figures can tie into the MC, whereas the IC can be mother. It also has to do a lot with our life purpose, how we want to be remembered, what we want our reputation to be, things that we want to achieve. The rising is how we unintentionally project ourselves out. Like, that's not necessarily a thought out energy. That is just naturally how we are. The MC is kind of like what we aspire to be consciously.
Okay.
What we want to grow up to, right?
Yeah.
So I usually touch on the MC in intro to birth charts. Most astrologers, you would probably leave it to a second or third session, or like a specific life purpose session. But I really like the IC and the MC. I think it's an easy visual to follow, and I find it's pretty prominent for most people. So that's why I just wanted to touch on it here. But yeah, the MC, this is where you could really light up your personality in the best way. It's your reputation, what you want to be known for, and what you really want to be seen as. Okay. So there's a more conscious energy, I guess, with this than like your rising sign or your moon sign, for example. So you have a Gemini. We're going to start with the IC because we're going to start with the root. So we're going to start at the bottom.
It's funny that you mentioned that the mother thing. Yeah, IC because my mom's a Gemini.
Yeah, and Lyra's was the same sign as her IC. Often the ruler of your IC is either going to be your mother's sun, moon, or rising sign, but it's often the sun. So yeah, it's pretty cool. When you get into family astrology, dude, it'll blow your socks off.
Whoa.
Blow your socks off.
I know. I'm like, why am I?
I haven't heard that in a while. That's cute.
Blow your socks off, guys.
I'm sorry. I have nothing to say. I just think that's so fucking cool. Okay.
Oh, it is. Oh my God. No, when you get into family astrology and you look at charts for the whole family, it will literally fucking blow your mind.
And that's something that to me, it brings a level of like validity to it, because as Maisie and I've talked about in the past, we're both not super well versed with astrology. There's just so much to it. And with that comes a level of like a healthy dose of skepticism, not in a bad way, but just being like, how does it matter,
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And to see like that with that
yeah, that's pretty cool. It's neat how it lines up.
Well, there's things like it, and again, that's where I come to like, sometimes I get nervous or I'm afraid to say things, because they sound like a big, like they're very personal things, or they're like, it's like, oh, was your dad around when you were a kid? Like that kind of stuff, and you get a little bit nervous saying it because you don't want to sound like insensitive, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But every time it's always people are like, whoa, that's right. Or like, whoa. And you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I believe it. Yeah. But I still get nervous sometimes with certain things. Yeah. And just like, don't want to touch a, poke a scab or anything like that. But,
right. Of course.
Yeah. But so common, and I just collected a few points that are common with Gemini IC. We can get way more into it if you ever want to do a shadow reading. Like we can dive deep and dark, baby. Like, don't worry. Yes, but I didn't do that for this one. But so family moving frequently while growing up.
Shut up. Sorry. I don't mean shut up, like stop talking. I'm like, shut the front door.
Okay. Did y'all move very much growing up?
Yeah, dude. Mesquite.
I guess I just only ever remember once they all got to
once we all got to Forney, it slowed down. But like young child,
right?
Do what?
Did you move more when Macy was younger?
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah, it must have been when you wouldn't have remembered, because about the age of 11 is when we more firmly settled down to where we were. But before that, it was always
which would have been when I was only about 5. So I was quite young.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
I'll try to shut up for the rest of it. That was crazy.
I love the reactions because, like I just said, it's like you're always kind of like, "Oh my God, is this gonna?"
Yeah, is it gonna hit? Yeah,
is it gonna hit? Like, but yeah, a lot of the time it probably felt like neighbors were like family, or stepped in family roles in some ways because that. You would have one parent, which I'm gonna, because you said your mom's Gemini, I'm assuming it's your mother, was very talkative.
I can see that. Yeah.
Tells a lot of stories, maybe asked you, always asking you questions all the time, very engaged with you that way. However, one or both of your parents could have been very changeable in their attitudes at certain times, because Gemini's the twins. So it's dual in nature. So it can flippy flop very, very quickly. Okay. You would have had to adapt very quickly to rapid changes in your environment. And your parents may have felt like they were like always on the move, always had plans, always very active, always doing something, going here, going there, a lot of that kind of activity. You may have been inclined to use a lot of technology in the house if it was accessible to you. Like you really would have. Like if you computer games, whatever, you like really, really enjoyed that. You would have changed schools quite a bit, obviously due to the moves. So like to the outside world, you could like when you were younger be a real you would have appeared, to be a lover of freedom and adventure with big ideas and idealistic goals that, you really dream to achieve. But then at home, you're actually quite diverse and changeable, not always liking to stay in the same place for a long period of time and always wanting to keep your environment kind of fresh and interesting. Because Gemini needs stimulation. It's very jumpy. So that's like, in a nutshell, just a peek into what the IC is. Like, there's a lot more stuff there, but I didn't want to get too deep and dark in the recording for the pod because a lot of it is very, again, like I said, it's very private. So
yeah, sure.
I can already see, just from what you said, I'm like, oh, shit. Whoa.
Oh,
okay.
It's a key place I look for shadow consults. And then we're going to
Oh, I'm sorry. Me and Macy before all this, we were just like, it's a little nerve-wracking talking to somebody who's going to like look at this and be able to just read us.
Read us like a book, man.
And there was a part of me that was joking, but now I'm like, oh.
Oh no. Okay. Like confidentiality is a huge thing for me with this business, because even, people can believe in it or not believe in it, but because I know it to be true, and I've seen over and over again how accurate it is, and things that can come up, I treat them like if I was a psychologist. Like, what's said in a consult is strictly kept in the consult. It is not shared information, that kind of stuff. Like, it's very, very private. And I was actually nervous like actually having it recorded for you guys, because I was just like, oh, they're so brave, they're just putting it out there. I was like, so I'm gonna keep it all really good. We're not gonna get too dark, because it's really very exposed. You're very beautiful within your birth chart. Like, I would not want to give another astrologer my birth chart unless I was seeing them for a consultation.
Cool.
Because I'm very private. So to me, that's like being complicated. Like, you know what I mean? Like, someone can, but that's the beauty of it. But it absolutely, if someone had your birth chart, could they use it against you, play you like a fiddle? Fuck yeah. Like,
let's get ready to air this episode.
So many people are going to come out of the woodworks and be like, because I'm already that person who will like fall for scams. You know what I mean? And those, there's like a big
rising.
I'm learning. That's like Pisces rising.
Yeah.
There's this whole thing with like people who will. There's this ongoing scam with like generational curses, which I believe can very much be a thing. But people will say this, and then they'll be like, well, now that I've told you this, I can remove the curse for $400, like that kind of thing. And I am the person that will fall for that. So I feel like knowing this, somebody's going to write me and be like, Charlie, you got to send me $500.
It's funny that you say that, like generational curses. So there is like an area in the chart that I can look at for like ancestral wounding or like past lives.
So, we can't get into this today because Charlie is her eyeballs are going to blow out of her fucking face, and it's just going to be a whole thing.
Well, we are almost done, Charlie.
Okay.
Because we're going to move up to the Sagittarius MC or midheaven.
Okay.
Now, one thing I want to start off immediately, I so see your Sagittarius midheaven, like you've traveled quite a bit. And Sagittarius loves to see the world. Like, they want to go out and experience things. They don't want to just read about it. They want to go physically experience it. And I didn't know that you traveled until you started talking about that Japan trip. And on the recent pod, and you described it in such a Sagittarius way. I was just like, oh God, yeah, like it just shows. Because Sagittarius really wants to, when we have it in the midheaven, there's a real want to gain a reputation for being philosophical and spiritual and going out amongst the world and bringing that to the world. And really experiencing foreign cultures, seeing how other people live, seeing what other people experience, wanting to understand lots of religions, even if you're not religious, just to like get an idea of what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Because you want to experience it. You want to live life to the fullest. So in terms of like how you would like to be remembered, how you would like to be seen, that's, in this world at this time, that's very much it. You want to be known, as being able to put your opinion forward in a very philosophical way. Having Sagittarius on the MC, you can be very blunt, and very, very potty mouthed Sagittarius MCs.
All right.
But in terms of when I say that, I just mean not afraid to say that in front of a big group, not afraid to swear in front of a big group.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not like one of those people that has like, can only do it in your, like your friends. And then when you're speaking in a big group, you're like,
yeah.
But
yeah.
You're just going to be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So, you want to be known for telling it like it is. You also want to be known for going with the flow. Like, it's the Sagittarius midheaven is very complementary to your Pisces rising. There's a lot of that they're both mutable signs. There's a lot of that mutable energy. Your Pisces rising makes it really easy for you to go out and do these Sagittarius midheaven things, because you can travel the world and people do want to talk to you and confide in you. And you do have that, that easygoing nature. So it makes all of this adventuring that you want to do very accessible naturally to you, or you make it, or when you're in the moment, it's very easy. It's very, very natural. Except for when you're on the plane, obviously. Oh God. Yeah, I felt for you with that one. But yeah, that's like the MC in a nutshell. I just kind of did little brief touches I see in the MC, but that's like an introduction to your chart. Do you have like any questions? Does anything jump out at you when you're looking at the chart that you just want to ask about because you don't know what it is?
So just by looking and just not knowing what the hell I'm looking at, up here in Sag, and then like whatever is there to the left of it, the little 7 with a 0. I don't know what that is. There's a lot of little dudes hanging out there. Are those like other planets or?
Yeah, so you have people living in you have planets living in your 10th house. So you have Saturn, which is, even in the symbol, it looks like a stern motherfucker. It's like the upside down 4.
Yeah.
And then you also have Uranus. That's what's right next to Saturn. And then, so right off the bat, looking at Uranus in the 10th house, which has a lot to do with your career, a life purpose. Uranus is something that shakes things up. So you probably have, and we kind of touched on this earlier, but made a lot of abrupt changes in terms of your life path, where you were going with your career, that kind of stuff. You have Neptune, which is right next to that. It looks like Poseidon's spear, but that's in the 11th house. And then the guy hanging out in your 8th house, that's Pluto.
Okay. Ooh, 8.
Looks like a piece.
Okay. I see. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you have Jupiter in the 3rd. That's where I touched upon with the writing. In your 4th house, you have Venus. And then you also have the comet Chiron, which is the one that looks like a key. That's another aspect I really dive into with shadow work. Chiron's called the wounded healer. So it's one that I really dive into with shadow work. And then the other wheel that I sent you. So if, where is it? I have to pull it up here because I want to go over it with you. So the one that's less scary.
Yes. There it is.
I was reading that one. I gave that one a look over. I was like, I can handle this one and read the words. But the other one, I was just like, I don't.
So what this is, and why I wanted to send it to you guys, because it's really good when you're just starting out looking at your chart and understanding the houses and your own personal house rulerships. So we have all the houses here. You see them numbered 1 through 12. And then this is your own individual sign rulership of each house. So you can see, Charlye, over house number 1, you have Pisces. So that's, you're taking a keyword for Pisces, which is sacred. And then a keyword for the first house, which is identity. And so your first house, if we're going to summarize it really quickly, is built on a sacred quest for identity.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense.
And then, so then the second house, which is about resources and security, we have Aries in that house. So you have an independent quest for resources.
That makes sense.
It's cool, right?
I like inquisitive quest for roots/family. That's so fucking cool. Okay. I could sit here and chow down on this for like 6 more hours with you, but
I know. Honestly, I could, but
oh my God, dude. Okay. We were so dumb thinking that like we were going to be experts at the end of this.
I never thought that. I didn't think that.
I was just like, oh man, we're going to like know everything about her. Well, not be experts, but I guess dive into every aspect of it is.
Yeah.
Yes. We were like, we're going to know everything. But let's see. I do have some questions. I only started taking notes. Well, I have one question.
I think that's okay.
So fucking stupid because it's not even about me. No, this is a stupid question. I swear to God, because you know that song in you know that part of the song of the Age of Aquarius when they say the moon is in the 7th house. What does that mean?
When the moon is in the 7th house.
Yeah, what does that mean?
What that means is that's the same as like your moon is in the 2nd house. So they're talking about the placement of the moon in a house.
Okay.
And the 7th house in astrology on the wheel, it has to do with our relationships. So I think what they're talking about in that lyric is like when you're being emotional in your relationships or we're connecting through emotion with others.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know.
You're welcome.
What a nerdy song lyric. I really appreciate it.
I love
That's
it.
like a good deep cut lyric. You know, I like it.
That's okay. I quoted like Lizzo earlier, so.
Okay. Wow. Where do we go from here, man? Undoubtedly, I'm going to think of questions.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And even if you want to email me the questions as they come to you, so I can just have a chance to look at them before we get into Macy's chart.
Okay.
Macy will probably have I imagine you can probably break it down and look at it already now.
I'm not going to. I don't want to. I would rather not, just because I like going into things like this blind. I think it's fun.
I'm the same way, which is not shocking. We both have Mercury and Venus in Aquarius, so I totally understand. Very similar with that. So yeah, it's, if you think of any questions, email them to me, or if there's anything specific you want to go over, just let me know and I can take some time to look into it.
Can I ask a question that this won't necessarily go on or anything? I just want to know. So without just yes or no, without going into it, obviously, can you, looking at our charts, kind of get an idea of some deep shit that we might each individually feel like?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I would think so.
That's crazy. Okay. All right, cool. Just wondering.
Yeah. Once you know how to read it, you can
it's there. Yeah.
It's there. Like there's no hiding it. Which is why I do advise, this is just personal. Lots of people do post their actual charts.
Mm-hmm.
I
probably would not want to do
something that. For two different reasons. It's not something you want someone who knows what they're talking about just having access to, because it is a lot of very private information.
Yeah.
But you also don't want someone who thinks they know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Speculation. No, thank you.
Yeah, they can comment on it. So I personally don't share my chart.
Mm-hmm.
I might say, oh yeah, I'm a Cancer rising.
Right.
Sure.
Basic shit. But I would never be like, oh, here's an image of my chart. Everybody look. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What? But if you were to share something, probably those wheels, that would probably be you could share that. That's not going to give anyone any information except for your house rulership. So whatevs. It's a bit of information, but most people won't understand it anyways. It's not very specific.
All right. Well, then, I guess let's do, so there I am. That's me.
Charlye in a nutshell.
That's me in a nutshell. Everything you need to know.
That's the tip of the iceberg, dude. There is so much stuff.
And next time, well, I guess
it'd be next week.
Next week.
Technically.
We're going to come back.
One year guys' time.
Yeah.
We're going to come back and talk about Macy's chart, and then we're also going to do some talking about how we play together, I guess.
Are we compatible?
Should we just not talk?
Definitely talk about synastry astrology. I personally haven't taken any courses in it, so everything I know about it is through self-education, because I did go to school for natal astrology. Cool. Synastry astrology is something I definitely want to learn more about. So I can talk about like what's generally compatible and that kind of stuff. But if, for example, if two people were to come to me and be like, overlay our charts and tell us our synastry, I could guess away at it, kind of, but like it's not something I feel educated in enough in at this point in time. Like same with like futuristic astrology, or like predictive astrology. I can do general predictive astrology I'm educated in, but if someone came to me and was like, what's happening in my life 2 years from now, I would be like, again, I could kind of tell you, but
I wouldn't want to answer that question.
No. I don't feel educated enough to say. But eventually, but that's the thing about astrology is you're always, there's so much shit to learn. Like,
more shit to learn.
Yeah, you're an eternal student. Like that's just it. So yeah.
Just here in our little at the end of my part, we'll do it again. We'll do it for both, I'm sure. But give us your information that you want everybody to know. Where can we find you?
My website, amberenergyservices.com.
Do you offer this as a service that someone could book through your website?
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, cool, cool.
So yeah. So you can book many different astrology services with me. So I do have like the shadow consult, which we look into the shadow areas of the chart. I have a life purpose and path consult. So if you're kind of like what, careers, what areas of life would I really excel in? I have that. I have an introduction to your birth chart, which is just like the one we just had here. So just introducing you to your chart. And then I actually also do one for parents for children. So they can have a consult done for their child. So you can kind of look forward and be like, well, I understand that they learn best this way. And that they react emotionally this way. They are really cool to do. And they make great baby shower gifts. That's actually how I get like most people.
Oh yeah.
Baby showers. So I do those in recordings for the children because they can keep it and re-listen to it. So I don't actually do those particular ones live, but most of my services I offer, you can get a recording. So I can just record it and send it to you, or we can go live, or I do for select services, do written versions as well. So kind of like your own little manual, I guess, how to do, and then all my tarot services are up on my website as well. So I have lots of different spreads and subscriptions and stuff like that for those. And that's amberenergyservices.com. And then my Instagram handle is Amber Energy Services. And on Facebook, I'm just Amber Energy because Facebook is Facebook.
Facebook is Facebook. Yeah.
No, wow.
That's why there's no bitch on Facebook.
No bitch on Facebook. And if you want a link, all of those, you can obviously type them in, but that will all be in the description box.
Yeah, pop down, show notes it.
I guess join us next time where we will dive into Macy's stone cold Aquarius
poke around in my
soul.
Lizard brain and see what we find.
You have no idea. Anytime we talk about anything emotion based, I'm just going to be sitting here like,
yeah, which is really what I think one of the things I'm most just want to get into so bad is my moon in Cancer. That is the glare, kind of like how Charlye was talking about her moon in Taurus, how she didn't she couldn't relate to that. It didn't feel, that's how I feel about my moon in Cancer. And I'm really interested to get into that because I can't, with my lack of knowledge, make that make sense.
No, see, that's so funny because I see it.
Oh, baby, get ready. That is the moon in Cancer in my experience with people like that I know that have moon in Cancer. They are the most private people with their emotion. Like we'll get into it, but it will make sense. I promise.
Okay. Already it does. So there we go.
She's like, that's all I needed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I hear moon in Cancer and I just think constantly seeping tears.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing is that's where, the signs really do get their like archetypes or these stamps.
Yeah, they're stereotypes. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to understand that it works differently within each planet.
Yeah.
So, a Cancer sun like Lyra is not going to necessarily equate the same result as a Cancer moon. Like there'll be a very deep understanding of emotion in both of your parts, but how it is brought to life within you is very different.
Interesting. Well, then we're going to reconvene in just, what is today? Is today the 8th? God, it's already the 8th. In 3 days. 4 days.
4 days. 4 days.
Yeah, we will reconvene. And, ready.
this isn't also necessarily a thing. I just personal quote. This is the okay. So me and Lyra have been told, Lyra was once told that her and I knew each other in a past life, and you said something about
we should save this for the compatibility stuff. Yeah, I don't want to be a buzz.
Okay, just somebody remind me to talk about.
I'll write it down.
Look into Lyra's chart because I can bring it back up and revisit it. Because most of it, like that I've mentioned, I'm just basing it off of memory. But if you want to look into past life stuff, there is something I could do because I understand the nodes very well, the north and south nodes. So leave that with me and I'll put some cool stuff.
Okay. I wrote it down too, just in case we forget.
I have all 3 of your info. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up how all your nodes, I'm just making a note here, interact with each other because that has to do with past lives. So I'll look into that and that'll be cool.
Cool.
I am so pumped for that. Dude, I don't want to wait 4 days. Okay.
Dude, you don't want to wait 4 days. You know your shit. I have no dick right now. Fuck you.
Oh, well, this was so much fun. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this.
Oh, honestly, like how much fun was that? And you guys, God bless you, have been listening to me talk for like 3 hours.
That's okay. We listen to each other talk for 3 hours and we get along just fine.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Honestly, it was like, I was so excited to do this.
Yay. Well, we'll see you in 4 days.
A few days.
A few days.
All
right.
Y'all have a good rest of the day. I'm not going to talk anymore for the rest of the day. I'm done.
Yeah, just now you can ponder.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to be up here all day.
Yeah.
Bye.